Hey everybody, welcome to the Player's Take. My name's Montrell. I'll be your host today, and I have a guest star. Well, he's not really a guest; he's a listener, and he helps us on the side with the podcast. It's DJ. We may have started having him more regularly, as well as we also start to do our YouTube venture and everything. He may help us out with that. But welcome, DJ. He's also a developer. He's developing his own game, or I think he was, but he's doing asset stuff right now for you, Unreal Management, Unreal Engine 5 right now. So give us a big shout out to him. How you doing, DJ?
I'm doing good, Macho. Can't complain. Living life. Got a healthy baby. Got a family. Um, my girl's happy, so can't complain. How about yourself, brother?
I am tired as fuck. I have I have still been sick from this goddamn plane ride that I did 2 weeks ago. So I might have to go to the doctor and see what this cough is all about. It's not COVID. I think I just need like steroids or something like that just to get rid of the cough or whatever.
Yeah, some
Um,
antibiotics or something like that.
yeah. That's about it though. I'm just really tired and shit, and studying my ass off, and I haven't really been touching video games like I really wanted to because I've been studying, and still behind on studying.
hmm
Because some days I just don't feel like fucking studying. So, uh, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It happens, man. The thing that works for me is just like trying to get an hour a day in. Get your breaks because like you don't want to go headstrong into something. That's how you get burned out. But try to get an hour a day, even if you don't feel like doing it. At least start for 10 minutes because that 10 minutes turns to an hour fast as hell.
Yeah, that's exactly what my wife said. So I'm gonna start doing that because I usually try to do like 4 hour blocks, and I think that's just way too much for me.
hmm
I think I just gotta start doing like an hour or two a day, like both of y'all said.
And like
Um,
do it by the day because most days it may be more than an hour, right? It all depends on how you feel, but at least get that hour in.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. All right, so I'm gonna do the rigmarole, then we can get straight to the shits. Like I said, this is the Players Take. We air every Friday at 6 a.m. on your favorite podcast app of choice, from Spotify, Stitcher, Google, or actually not Google anymore. It's YouTube podcast, which is on the YouTube site. You can actually search us up on the YouTube site. All their stuff is on there now, and every other podcast app of choice. I believe we are on Apple Podcast now as well.
hmm
So any podcast you listen to, your apps, or any podcast you listen to your apps, any apps you listen to on your podcast, that's where we're going to be at. I'm not used to doing this. This is Justin's job, but he is on a not even a vacation. He's out for
Sabbatical.
work right now. Yeah, he's out for work right now. So he's out of town somewhere doing some work. So I'm taking over for right now. In that case, this will be a shorter episode because I also have to leave out of town for work tomorrow. So I got to get ready for that. So that's why we're doing it today on a Wednesday day of recording. So if some stuff happens on the 13th, y'all, I'm sorry. We're not going to probably cover it until next week. I believe there is a Nintendo Direct on the 19th, the 18th or the 19th. I am very happy for that.
I think it's
Uh,
gonna happen by the end of the month. Not even this week. I think they're gonna announce it next week.
oh, you think
Uh,
they're going to announce it next week and then do it at the end of the month?
yeah, because Nintendo has a thing of announcing their directs on Tuesdays or anything on a Tuesday. And so if it's going to be announced, it's going to be announced on the 18th, and then we're going to have it. I think they generally happen on Wednesday, on Thursday, so it may happen that week or it may happen that next Tuesday.
Okay. See, that's the rumor I've been hearing too. I've been hearing that at first I heard it was supposed to happen, excuse me, uh, yesterday on the 11th. But then the rumor, like everyone else was saying, even before I checked yesterday, a lot of people were saying like the 18th or the 19th is either we're supposed to get an announcement of the direct or the actual direct itself.
Mhm.
Because sometimes they just drop the direct and they don't even tell people when they're going to drop it.
And I think they're just trying to get away from Summer Game Fest because ever since E3 closed, they have yet to appear at one. Uh, and they always do their stuff like around it, but not like during the week of.
Exactly, that makes sense. So it makes sense for them to do it next week because actually, like, so we're going to get into it. Xbox had a hell of a show this week, or late last week rather. They had a really good show.
Make
in
it
my
that was
opinion.
last week. I don't know what
Yeah.
that stuff does feel like it was this week.
It does because we kept talking about it. The PC game show was this week. That shit was ass. I mean, it's ass every year. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't watch
It,
it.
to me, to me, it was ass. I mean, every time it's the 10th year they're doing it. Every year they show some games that I may like. But a lot of times it's just games I really don't care about. And no offense to the PC crowd. I mean, y'all the PC master race or whatever, but I mean, nobody. To be honest, no one gives a fuck about y'all. Like, I'm just be honest with y'all. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, I mean, and not to say that we're not PC people. I mean, both me, DJ, and Justin have really powerful PCs
But I
that can
prefer the
play.
consoles.
Yeah, that are way better than our consoles, and I still prefer to play on my console. Uh,
It's the comfort,
that's just,
like playing on the
yeah,
TV. Like it's,
exactly.
you
And
can get
I
comfort.
actually have my PC set up to where I can easily just project it to my TV, and I still play it. I still play my PlayStation or my Xbox over it. Uh, but yeah, the PC. You guys can look up the PC game show yourselves. There were a lot of cool indie games and smaller CRPGs announced there. I'm not going to really get into the shits or those, but I will start off today with what we've been playing. So I haven't really been playing too much. I before Justin left this week, it was me, Justin, and some people from our old job. We played League of Legends. It was kind of fun. Uh, I say it's in a pretty balanced state right now. There are a little bit of things, but I mean it's a MOBA, hero type thing, so it's never going to be truly balanced in a sense. But yeah, I mean I had fun playing that. I tried to play Stellar Blade. I'm going to finish it. I am going to finish that game. I'm like 80% done with the game. I just need to fucking finish it. So I'm gonna try to get into it again and play it and finish it. Um, and then I really want to go back and play some older games. Like I was gonna go back and play Metal Gear Revengeance,
Mm,
and Vanquish. I really want to go back and play those games. I still got to play. I still have to play Dragon's Dogma 2. Uh,
dude, play Hades.
man, I still have to play Hades.
It's
I
like
have that.
play Hades. Play it. Play it.
Yeah,
Just get one
I
run.
mean, you
Get
you
one run.
you and you and Justin keep telling me that.
Get
So I mean,
one run.
Justin keeps beating me over the head to play Hades.
Like dead as if you
Um,
have it, just one run. Just play through
I
one
have it.
cycle.
I
Just
have
one cycle.
Hades. I have Prince of Persia. I have
Oh, I
um,
forgot about Prince of Persia.
it's
Let me
I
write
think
that
it's
down.
called Tales of Amu or something like that. Like the the African 2D side scrolling game, action game that just
Oh,
came out.
I started playing. Oh,
Yeah, I
it ain't
haven't
my
played it
taste.
yet.
It ain't my taste. It's
Uh,
it's a Metrovania.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm not
So
a big Metrovania player, so
yeah, but I mean, Prince of Persia is really good though. That's a really good game.
yeah, that looks good. Like the combat alone is making me play that. Like I play very little Metrovania games, but like
Hmm.
I don't know. I guess it's the atmosphere or something like that has to draw me in.
Yeah,
I heard the story of the Tales I knew was good, but I don't know. I just haven't. Maybe I give it another try.
yeah. That's like giving it a shot when you're in the better headspace for it. Um, and then I also want to go back and play Dragon Age.
Hmm.
I'm not playing Origins again. I played it on Xbox.
Oh, you
I
talking
don't
about
want to play
all
it
of
on
them?
PC. Yeah, I already played. I played it Origins on Xbox. I did try to play two. I fucking hate two. I know two story is really good. Uh,
I think that's where a lot of people, the people
it's
like me who got into Dragon Age, got into Dragon Age. Is that
at
Dragon
two.
Age 2? Yeah.
I can't play it, bro. It's so bad. The combat's so bad in that game. I don't know, man. Like not even combat. It's just the everything takes place in one city and all the dungeons look the same. I'm like this is not a really they rushed that game. You can tell they rushed that
And the
game.
crazy part is I don't even remember that game like that, but I remember getting into Dragon Age because of that game.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I just don't. I mean, it's a good like I said, the story and the voice acting and everything. The politics of the city that you're in are really good. I really like how it's focused, but everything else surrounding it, it was just, in my opinion, wasn't worth it. And then Inquisition, uh, I think Inquisition is a very unique game because I actually like that game a lot. I think it tries to mesh between Origins and Dragon Age 2. So
Hmm.
Origins, if people don't know, it was CRPG, and then Dragon Age 2 was obviously an action RPG. And it tries to do both. I
And
think
then
it does a very good.
didn't Origins Awakening was like they made Origins more actiony, or did it, or was that just like
Uh,
DLC? I can't
so
remember.
Origins Awakening was like all the DLC. It was pretty much not a remastered version, but the the
Game of
final
the year.
edition of the game. Yeah, pretty much the game of the year. They added a lot of stuff. Um, and they improved the graphics a little bit. They fixed a lot of glitches and all the other shit like that. So Awakening did add a lot of content to it as well, but it didn't really change the combat at all. It was still the CRPG combat, which I actually liked. Um, I know a lot of people don't like the CRPG combat, um, but it wasn't to the scale of like Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate is more tabletop D&D CRPG combat.
Hmm.
This one was more it was more action oriented, but it was still like a CRPG type combat. Like it wasn't like you could do crazy combos, but it was like you have
Kind of like
control of
the
your character.
man, damn to think about it, bro. Like all Bioware games are kind of like that. At least now, like if you look at it modern, like kind of like how they were showing off with the new Dragon Age, where it's he's doing the combos, then mid, whatever, he can just pull up his menu to pick between whatever moves he have. And I
No,
heard they have like a
no,
little technical part on there as well.
yeah, no, it's not like that. That was that. See, I think that's more so. It's just CRPG. Like your auto attacks, you have auto attacks and stuff like that. Like
Oh,
that's
okay.
how it is, right? But yeah, like I think Inquisition was really cool. A lot of people hated Inquisition for some reason. I can understand hating the game on release. I can't understand hating the game 6 months after it got released. If you played it after that, I think the game is not flawless, but is actually really good. The character creator fucking sucks, but uh, everything else, I think the game was like it wasn't. It was a solid 8 out of 10 for me, 7 to 8 out of 10 for me. I had fun with it. Um, and yeah, there are some things I will say about Inquisition that I forgot about. There is this mobile game aspect to it that I fucking hate. And when I talk about it's not a mobile game, you don't need your phone or anything. But when you get your Inquisition, your army, you can send people out to do missions and solve stuff via menus or whatever, right? So
Hmm.
you say they're like, hey, um, Inquisitor, we need to send an army, or one of the villages is requesting an army to drive back these demons over here at the Hinterlands, and you're like, okay, I will send one of my armies that I have available to me because you unlock more armies as you progress, and it's like a timer. So you send them in there, and then it's like a timer. Like this is going to take 20 minutes to complete. You see what I'm saying? Like it's kind of mobile game
Oh,
aspect like
okay.
that, and you get resources and gear and stuff like that from that or whatever. Um,
Oh, just like in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
yeah, that's a good example. But there are some that are fucking outrageous. I think the longest one I had to do was 2 hours game time. Like it's actual
Damn.
2 hours. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, and you can circumvent that. Like if you unplug your Xbox and then change the time, you can do that way. Uh, if you unplug your Xbox from the internet and then constantly change the time, you can
Oh, okay.
circumvent that. Um, but I don't know if that will even work with the newer Xboxes now. You know what I'm saying? So I played it when it was on the Xbox One, and you can still kind of do that or whatever. But yeah, like that was the only issue I really had with the game. I didn't even play the DLC. I had 120 hours. I had a rogue, and I made this build where I can throw daggers and shadow clone jitsus will come out and strike the people every dagger I threw. It was almost like uh the fourth Hokage. I threw it instead of teleporting. It was shadow clones would just jump out and attack the person or whatever. And it was a very specific weapon I had to get to do that. And I farmed it for like 3 hours trying to get it from one particular enemy,
God
and I
damn.
finally got it. But yeah, that was just for a specific build where I can kind of one shot dragons I fight and everything like that and everything. So um, I soloed a couple of dragons. So the dragons are really hard in the game. And yeah, that's why I put so much time in. You can golden path the game though, but for me, I was trying to be like super efficient, and I was trying to be like a really high damage crit rogue and everything like that. So that was my build. But you can do other builds and stuff like that. There's tons of other builds you can do in the game. But yeah, what about you? What you been playing?
Uh, uh, kind of light as well. Haven't really been playing a lot. Mainly been playing TFT because it's just easy to play.
Yeah, I see
Uh,
you. I saw your status saying you're gonna get go or diamond this year or this
I'm trying to hit
season.
diamond this season. Yeah, the last time that I played, I want to say it was like 3 seasons ago. I hit gold. Normally I be plat, just learning the game back over because it's always a new set, and so like so you gotta really grind it out by like learning what sets you're gonna play. It's all RNG based as well as far as the heroes you get. And so if you see someone trying to build the same set that you are, because some people can just force stuff, that would just take the heroes out the pool. And so I don't pull them. And so like it's a mind game. It's a strategy game that you got to play against 8 people. It's all chess, but it's pretty fun. It's the reason why I actually learned know of the League of Legends characters and stuff. Um, and my favorite characters in League, just because TFT is Aurelia and what's her name? Kale or Cal?
Kale, what's Kale?
Kale, yeah. Aurelia and Kale, man. And I would
Well, you
love
if
a
you were to
Aurelia game.
play if you were to play the regular Summoner's Rift, you'd be playing top lane because those are both top laners.
Yes,
They're both
so
hyper carry top laners.
when the times I played Master Yi Aurelia as my mains, and I just go to the top because I don't know what I'm doing. I just know I just gotta kill the enemies, I'm trying to stay alive. I mean, kill the minions and
Yeah,
trying to stay alive.
that's considered the hardest lane. One of the hardest lanes in the game is top lane.
Uh,
Aurelia is really interesting because she used to. Me and Justin used to fucking hate going against that bitch because it used to be like last season or 2 seasons ago. Uh, she used to get a one item spike. Like she would get one item and she'd be decimate the game. It was fucking insane.
mm,
Like
yeah, I
no
would have
matter
been
how
immune
much
to that.
yeah, no matter how much you stopped her, once she got that one item, it was called Blade of Ruin King. Once she got that item, you could not stop her anymore. You had to CC her to death. Like you had to do a coordinated effort to CC her and kill her. But yeah, if you don't do that, she would just decimate your team. And then Kale, she's the late game hyper carry. So
Don't
by the
people
time she
play
gets like
support with her as well?
you can, but she's mainly used as a late game a top laner late game hyper carry. Because when she turns 16, she I think she I don't know if it's called elevate or
Like her ascend
something.
mode?
She ascends, and when she ascends, like she gets two blades, and then her
Hmm.
autos do waves,
She be
and they
doing
can
wave damage, bro. I love that
yeah
move. Oh, especially when she's a 5-star character in TFT. When she got that move, you put some magic item on her, fucking like the magic's cap to double her magic. Put her fucking with the blue buff, so she can get like 15 mana off rip and like just
yeah
easily 15 mana regen. And you put her with this move that can extends her ultimate. Like it's this crit glove that extends her ultimate, so she crits and her waves is like double. Oh, bro, she be killing. I fucking love her. And right
yeah
now,
she
Aurelia, her moves basically she be sending her little daggers all across the board. So I got like a crit item with her. I got Rage Blade, and I got red buff, and so like she just be like attacking fast as hell, just cleaning up the board. Oh, it's so satisfying, man. It is so satisfying.
that's so funny to hear you say that stuff because we have all that stuff in Summoner's Rift, but it's used for different reasons. So like if you get you kill a monster for red buff in Summoner's Rift, and it gives you I think it gives you increased attack damage, and it gives you a slow, and it gives you true damage. True damage ticks over time. And then like blue buff, it does regenerate. It regenerates your mana like exponentially fast or whatever. If you kill the blue buff monster, um, but you don't. We don't build Rage Blade on. We build Rage Blade on Aurelia, not Aurelia, but Kale. But Aurelia usually gets Blade of Ruin King and then some other damage items and stuff like that
Okay,
because she
so
attacks really fast.
I have um, Rage Blade grants 5% attack and speed. Infinity Edge is the other item that I give her. Abilities can critically strike.
Mhm.
If holders' abilities can already critically strike, gain 10% critical strike damage instead. And then red buff is deal 5% bonus damage, attacks and abilities 1% burn and 33% wound damage for 5 seconds.
So you would, it's funny. I think you would transition into the game really well because those items are in the game, but they do those things, but in a different way or in
Bro,
a more empowered way. So like,
I saw when I saw that I was like, it's the same game.
yeah, exactly. So I think that's cool. I think that's a cool way to get people into the game. Uh, yeah, I mean, if you want to play one game with me and Justin, we can show you how to play, and we can carry you a little bit. I can even make a dummy account where it's easy for you to play. So you want to play against high level players or whatever. Um, but yeah, but that's all you've been playing. So, or is that all you've been
No,
playing, or you've been playing
so
other stuff?
that's yeah, that's the main one. But outside of that, within the past couple of weeks, I played Hades. Been replaying that, so that's a game that I come into off and on just to get like a run or two. Um, it's just fun. It's fun and addicting, bro. And I like roguelikes, especially like roguelikes on my phone. And I think Hades and basically and captures that well out of any other roguelike that I played. That yeah, that's probably the only one because I was about to say Returnal, but no, that feels a bit different. But Hades encapsulates what like a mobile roguelike feel, and that shit is very addicting. And it's a
Okay,
console
you
game.
you sound like you're far away from the mic.
Oh shit. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Outside of Hades, and I like beat that multiple times. I was going through a thing. All right, so this what gets me addicted to playing video games, right? I set self-imposed goals for me. Then once I hit those goals, I get bored of the game. Uh, and that basically happened with Hades. I wanted to beat the game with every weapon variation. It's like 6 weapons, and each weapon has like 4 variations or maybe
Hmm.
5 variations, but I beat the game with like every weapon and like at least like 2 or 3 of their variations. So I was like, oh, that's enough. Uh, Outside of that, I finally beat Ghost of Tsushima. It's been years. I owned it since it came out. Um, when I first got into it, I stopped at a little after the first boss, like after you beat Kodo Khan or he kills you for the first time or whatever. And I just couldn't like get into the game. I don't know why. I don't know if I was feeling something else or just I just wasn't into it. But
Hmm.
I started it back up, and y'all motherfuckers was right. Like the combat in this game is great. The open world is fucking phenomenal. It's something I should have played like years ago because I'm pretty sure it would have informed the way that I was designing my game. Um, but like when I first did it, I completed the first island, just did everything in it, and then after doing that, I was like, okay, I know what to do and what not to do when it comes to this open world shit. Was basically worth my time, which was only like the uh, getting your my health up and getting my resolve up. That's the only shit I look for, and I was on clearing camps. Um, but yeah, and I did DLC as well because I had it on PlayStation Plus for the Legendary Edition on PlayStation Plus, so I got to do the DLC.
Okay.
And DLC is pretty fire because it's basically just hard mode. You get harder enemies. Um, like you have like the basic enemy use multiple weapons, and so he swapped between like the sword and the what's the name the spear or the sword and the shield sword, and then like the enemy after that can swap between all 3 of them. Then the hardest enemy can swap between all 4 weapons. So it'll be keeping you on your toes, especially like when you get pressured in that game, and it sounds like at points you just can't do nothing but to get hit. Like you can dodge, you have reasons to get out of it, but like it's like you're probably not paying attention. You get hit, like oh fuck. That shit happens a lot in this mode. Oh, it's like I would advise you to play it if you haven't tried the DLC. It's pretty dope. Um, Outside of that, I play a little bit of Control. Um, I see the appeal in that game. I'm at a part when I couldn't like beat the boss. it's not even that far into the game. I'm in the cell when she's trying to rescue her brother. If anyone plays the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm fighting that boss, and I died so many times, and I was like, ah, fuck it, I just don't. I just didn't feel like overcoming that challenge. So it's like move on to the next shit, and that's when I moved on to Hades. Outside of that, that's the last game I've been playing. We're going to talk about it, but like seeing the Dragon Age stuff and hearing people talk about Dragon Age, it's getting me hype, and that's making me want to play Dragon Age Inquisition. I played that at launch, and it was a buggy mess, and I was pissed when it won Game of the Year. I was like, this game is buggy. So how y'all was with Cyberpunk and like all these other buggy games, and how they win a Game of the Year, that's how I was with Dragon Age Inquisition.
And that's totally understandable because I didn't. I remember when we had our old YouTube channel. You did a review on Dragon Age Inquisition. That was actually your first review. I
I
remember you
fucking
did.
hated that game. I hate
And you
well, not
hated
not
that game,
hate,
and I
not
didn't.
like hating. The gameplay and everything was good. It's just the bugs. Like just it fuck like it. This
Yeah,
one specific one is every time I got off the horse, UNT position. Like every time.
and I remember because of that review.
Oh.
Because when you did that, I didn't play it until I think a year or two. Well, actually, until 2020 when the lockdown happened, and then I played throughout the entire thing. I was like, oh my god, this game's actually amazing. But I just kept remembering your review of it and everything like that, and I thought it was funny. I'm like, they did fix a lot of stuff.
And that makes me
Uh,
want to replay it, especially like hearing you play through it and again having the urge to play Dragon Age. It's like shit, this is already out, so
yeah, and I did recant my statements on Cyberpunk. I mean, I'm in Dogtown right now, and I'm loving the game. I love every aspect of that game. That game's really fucking fun. I really do wish it had a third person mode, but I mean, I can get
me
over
as
that shit.
well. Like again, we're gonna talk about this, but Avowed that got me into like looking at Avowed different that you can look in third person.
Oh, you can? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they announced it after the next day after they announced the game. It was because they did like the Xbox thing presser because
Mm.
every day the Xbox had a presser for one of their games. Um, and when they was talking about Avowed, one of the developers said that you can play in the third person just like any other Obsidian game.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's funny because you can't play in third person on out out outer worlds.
Outer
You can't
Outer
play third.
get what's it?
You
What
can't
fuck?
outer worlds.
Outer Worlds. Okay.
Uh, yeah, you can't play third person on that game. I honestly I played that game and I did not like that game. Um, the story was good, the humor's there. It just wasn't for me. It's not a bad game. Maybe you'll like it. I didn't like it per se.
I started
Um,
it up when it first dropped, and I was like, "Nah, I'm straight."
yeah,
Because when I started it again, I'm not a big Fallout fan, and so
mhm.
I was like, "Oh, this kind of reminds me of Fallout." I'm straight. I
Yeah,
just left.
and what's crazy is it was it didn't even do a good job. I don't know. It was trying to be Fallout, but not Fallout, and I didn't like that. I wanted it to really be its own thing. But I mean, it is what it is. So I guess we can just probably move on.
Mhm.
So we're not gonna do the whole Summer Games Fest because that shit was ass. I watched that shit live, y'all. I So the only thing I can think of when I was watching this entire thing, and this is probably not Jeff Keighley's fault, or it probably is Jeff Keighley's fault, but I know he's shooting this in Los Angeles, I believe. So
Mhm.
I understand the prices and the inflated prices, right? But every time I saw a game, a non-indie game, I was just like, this was this
You
was
paid for this.
you know, yeah, you pay this is 500, this is
How
500
much
grand.
thousand?
This is 750,000 grand. It was one for Skate, right? That they showed, and it was like a guy in the office talking, and it was all for Skate.
And I didn't
And
even
that
know it skate. It was 4 minutes long, and
it was
how much they
bro,
said
that's
was
like a
like 500,000 for a minute.
it's 500,000 for like 2 minutes, I think. So that's $1 million they spent. That's $1 million they
And
spent
no
on that.
one knew what it was for the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's crazy to me. And then the next 30 seconds of the game, I think they only showed maybe 30 to 45 seconds of the game, was just like them announcing that they're about to do like an open beta test or something like that, I believe, for the game, and you could sign up for it. So yeah, I mean, so yeah, while we're talking about, it, let's just get into it. So they did show a couple of games here. I believe this is in order. I
It
don't
is in
know if you
order. I
see it.
scrolled through it.
it
The only thing
okay,
that's not in order is the Xbox one you sent me, but the picture, the first picture they showed you is in order. The
it is
Xbox
in
one
order.
go in
Okay,
alphabetical order when it comes to showing the videos.
okay. So we can kind of like for both of them we can kind of jump around. So I do want to speak on. I mean, I don't know if you reviewed the list, but the one that I liked was so I'm not a real big fan of Horizon, right? But I do think Lego Horizon Adventures looks fucking
I'm gonna
fun
play
as
the
fuck,
fuck
and
out of that game.
I'm gonna play the shit out of
Play the
that
fuck out of that
game.
game. Like I like Lego games. I haven't played one since the Lego Avengers ones, because that at that point that's why I'm like just like Call of Duty, everything else. I was like it's getting the same. Um, I haven't played the new Lego Star Wars one that dropped that has the good combat, the Devil May
Yeah,
Cry combat, but like this one, it's basically what I expected. And it's not made from TT Games. It's actually made from Gorilla. And so I think this is just like Gorilla's take on a Lego game, and they're gonna have some of the same elements, like collecting like the nuts and having like the gold nut that you can collect and like some of the collectibles. But I think this is gonna play different. It's just like it's gonna play like a kid-friendly version of Horizon, but just masquerading being Lego, kind of like Lego Fortnite. That's a perfect example. Lego Fortnite is a perfect
yeah,
example. It's a survival game that's built on Fortnite, and they just use Lego as an aesthetic.
yeah, yeah. And I think this game's gonna be really cool. It looks really cool. I'm a big fan of Lego games as well. There are some good platforming, turn off your brain type games,
Fun
and just have
multiplayer
fun.
games too.
Yeah. Um. So I think the next game that was like that hit was for us. Well, not really hit. They did it. Ubisoft did another Star Wars Outlaws. How do you feel about this
Oh,
game?
by the way, before we move on, most of these games like Lego Horizons, they are still showing them throughout the week, and Lego Horizons had a showing today. It's a lot of
Hmm.
these games that if Montrell or me don't talk into much details on it, and they have like trailers and more gameplay out, we just probably didn't see it yet. And I know some of this stuff is out, and I just gotta watch it, and I don't got time to watch it yet until the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. A lot was announced after, and played after, and everything of that nature. But yeah, so how do you feel about? I never got your opinion on like Star Wars Outlaws. How do you feel about this game? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen the new gameplay trailer. I haven't seen the Ubisoft presser yet. And like the gameplay that they
Oh,
have
that did
for it.
happen this week too, guys. The Ubisoft press did happen this week as well. Forgot about that.
So this game looked good from when they first announced it, like the first couple showings. It's like I'm down with it. It's massive, right? I like the Division games. I like
I love the Division games, man. I love
their
them so
gun
much.
gameplay is fun. Gun
Yeah,
combat is fun, and so I would like to see that, especially since this like doesn't have anything to do with like all that bullshit Skywalker shit, hopefully. And it's just a story in his own world, but I know they're going to connect it somehow. I just want to play with someone that's a shooter, a bounty, and a Star Wars game, man. Massive doing it, I'm fine with it. I don't know if they do an open world or stuff like that, or if it's just level structure or instant base, but
hmm.
regardless, I'm down to play it or try it out.
All right, so the next one is not really for me or you. I don't know, not unless you're a fan of Civilization. This is for Justin. I know Justin would probably go batshit crazy over this. So Civilization 7 is coming to consoles in 2025, and PC as well. So they just announced that.
I may try
The
it out.
next,
I may try it out. Like when it
okay,
goes on
yeah,
sale or something like
I
that.
I believe you can do campaigns with people. So ask Justin, and he'll probably play it with you. But I think you can do campaigns with people in Civilization. So uh, he'll definitely be down for that. So the next big release was, or not release, but announcement was Dragon Ball Sparking Zero got a release date for October 11th, 2024. Or I'm sorry, October 11th, 2024. So how do you feel about this game?
Is a no for me. Like I'm done with arena fighter
Speaking to the
games.
mic. Speaking to the mic.
Oh snap! I just noticed it was down there. It's a no for me. Um, like it doesn't look bad. The game looks gorgeous. I watched the gameplay and all this stuff. This looks like a dope game.
Yeah,
Uh, I know the joke about it being like your standard Dragon Ball, all these 20 variations of multiple characters and all that stuff. Like,
yeah.
who cares? Like the gameplay itself, it looks gorgeous. The art style looks dope. If it was a franchise that I really like, if it was Naruto, I'd be nutting everywhere for this
I
one.
think they actually do have a Naruto game coming out already. I think
See,
sent one in the other chat. He did that like fucking Rasengan with the first Hokage, and then there
oh
was another
no,
guy.
that's Naruto connections. That's
Oh, okay.
all that is like the ultimate what is it called? Like the ultimate Smash version of Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. And so
Wow, okay.
it's Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, but they just keep adding DLC. It's like they 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 super Street Fighter and 4 in it and just keep making different iterations, and that's like the latest version of it.
Ah, okay, I got you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip out on this too. It looks really fucking cool, but
It's one of the
I already,
ones like if it goes on sale and then like you know how you just be feeling
yeah,
whatever, I can
yeah.
see myself buying it in the future.
I just don't want to. I just don't want to reward another anime arena game. Like, I mean, this one looks like they put effort into it. To be honest with you, but
They doing something different,
yeah,
but it's not enough.
it, yeah, it's the original Tenkaichi or whatever. So I mean, this was the original anime fighter arena fighter game before. I think
Before
Ninja
any
Storm in this game was coming out around the same time. The Tenkaichi series and Ninja Storm was coming out around the same time.
Ninja Storm that come out into PS3.
That's true. This came out PS2, so this was the original. Um, so yeah, I mean it's all right. So the next game, I got super hyped for, and then immediately got killed by it. Which was Batman Arkham Arkham Shadow.
Look, I bet you this game is good. Like,
No,
I'm a
I'm
VR enthusiast. I'm not like like them diehard VR enthusiasts like the PlayStation fanboys, but
yeah.
VR has a lot of great games. Um, it's just it's not enough. Like it's one of those machines that if you used to get a VR, you're gonna be doing other things more than playing games, and that's totally fine. Because I was using my machine to watch movies a lot, and like that is like the best thing to watch movies in. And you can watch 3D movies too. Ooh, that shit be looking dope. But
Well,
like I think this is
unfortunately,
gonna be a sleeper.
unfortunately, this one is only available on MetaQuest 3. So this one is exclusive to MetaQuest right now. Maybe it will come to other VR platforms, but as of right now, it is only exclusive to MetaQuest 3.
It may end
And
up
there is
coming to Apple Vision Pro because it's the technology inside of MetaQuest that's making it exclusive. Like the how they have
okay.
sensors and like their controllers and all that stuff. It's just like it's just like how you can only develop a game for a Wii, but not that same game for the PS3.
So watching this live was funny, right? Because he announced it and then he said VR, and everybody was like, "Oh." So I thought that was pretty funny. So next one was Street Fighter's getting a Fatal Fury crossover. So we're getting our ghetto version of Street Fighter versus SNK, or Capcom
A
versus SNK. This is our ghetto version of it. They're adding some SNK characters from Fatal Fury over to Street Fighter. Or actually, I think Fatal Fury is not. I think that's not SNK. I
It
think that's
is.
just.
It is. Fate of Fury is SNK.
It is okay.
It's just like SNK and Capcom. They worked a lot in the past, and SNK was making a lot of Capcom games as well. And so it's just you just you just think
Yeah.
that's the case.
So hopefully this takes off and does well, because I think the streets have been asking for a Capcom versus
We're not gonna
SNK
talk about
3.
Elena being in there, man. A Street Fighter 3 alpha character. Come
Yeah,
on.
man. Yeah,
Uh,
man. And Bison's back. So a lot of people aren't happy about Bison being back. Um,
and you know they gotta announce a fifth character because they always do five.
yeah. So I can't wait to see who else is going to join. But we're going to get Terry, Mai, Bison, Elena, and there might be another character coming out this year as well.
They're gonna announce them at Evo. They have to.
So next one, they announced some Bloomhouse games coming out. So they're working with the people who did Five Nights at Freddy and these are the people who made the Megan movie, which I did watch the Megan movie. It was all right.
Basically
But I
all
was
modern
also
horror movies.
they didn't make all the modern horror
Like,
movies, but yes,
yeah.
they did do a lot of them though. They did do a lot of them. I watched the Megan movie and I was high outside of my fucking. I took like an edible and I would never fucking do that shit again. I don't recommend doing that shit ever again. But I did watch the Megan movie and it was pretty creepy. Um, it was also funny because she like danced and stuff in the middle of the hallway in one scene. It was fucking
That shit had
weird.
me dying.
Yeah. So the next one they showed the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. Um, I think this is really cool. It's an old school beat 'em up. I don't think it's gonna be to the style or to the. It's not gonna be the Streets of Rage for quality, but it is a really good looking beat 'em up. But I don't think it's gonna be the combos and stuff that people are that modern beat 'em ups are doing. I don't think it's gonna have that. But it does look good. It's gonna be 4 players, I think, or 6 players, I think.
Bro,
Um,
I was highly pissed at this game because when I saw Power Rangers,
why?
I was getting hyped. I was like, "Oh shit, we about to get an action Power Rangers game," and it was nothing beat 'em up, a side scroller beat 'em up, and because I think of the Power Ranger games from like the PS1 days, those
Mhm.
3D action games, and I thought we was going to get something like that, you know, or like a final is it Final Fight? I can't remember like that 3D beat 'em up that was on the PS1. That was also in the arcade, and oh man, I can't remember it. I don't want to explain it because it sounds like any other beat 'em up, but yeah, I thought it was gonna be something like that and not like this 3D action. I mean, this regular 2D beat 'em up thing. Not that it's not cool, but it's just not my taste. I wanted something different.
Yeah, I am tired of the retro shit. This is coming from an old school person. Like I am old, so both of us are old. And I am tired of retro shit. I just want some new shit. But I mean, if you guys are into this, I am into the retro beat 'em ups as well. Um, I recommend checking this trailer out. You can play up to 5 people. I think it's couch co-op as well.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I
couch
believe I
co-op.
think they said that.
I don't know if you can do 5 people couch co-op, but you can do up to like 4 people, I think, co-op, and then probably another person online. So the next one, which I'm really excited for, is Mecha Break. Looks like it's coming for Armored Core's neck. This game looks fucking dope as fuck. It looks like it's gonna be a cross between Armored Core and Gundam, and it's gonna be fast paced, online, multiplayer, fucking uh uh mech action, and it looks fucking dope as fuck. If you guys are into like mecha shit, I recommend checking this out.
The
So
crazy
another,
part is that when I saw this Montrell, I was like, "Oh man, another fucking mecha game, man. This shit looks boring. It's about to move slow and all this stuff." And then the gameplay showed with him flying and all that stuff. I was like, "Oh, okay, that doesn't look bad at all."
yeah, this game looks dope. They actually showed more gameplay at the Xbox Game Show as well. And then they have more gameplay. If you like DJ said, you can look up there on the showroom and everything like that. Have a lot more gameplay. So I do recommend you, like I said, if you like mecha or you're into trying to get into mecha, I do recommend looking at this game. This game looks really fucking cool. The next one is going to be First Descendant, which I call. Um, so the thing about this, right? I hated the trailer for this game they showed at or at the summer break or whatever, Summer Fest, because it was like it was a cinematic trailer, but this game has already been played. People have already they had a beta for this game like a couple months ago apparently, and it's actually coming out uh July 2nd of this year. So you guys can get it. It's a free to play shooter from Nexon. I mean, we all have our Chromes with Nexon or whatever, but this game looks like is going to pick up um the Anthem mantle, in my opinion, like an actual fun shooter, looter shooter, that's trying something
Oh.
different. You get exo suits and stuff like that, and everything of that nature, and it looks like it's trying to pick up where Anthem left off at, which is very sad because Anthem EA declined to do another Anthem. BioWare really wanted to fix Anthem, do Anthem 2.0, but EA said no. So that was way back in 2021 when they asked.
Dude, I man, this game was cool.
Yeah, I do recommend looking out for this game, y'all. It looks pretty cool. It is free to play. It is Nexon, so just be aware they are kind of shady with their tactics. But uh,
I mean, with Marvel Rivals in this, if this is any good, like I don't know, they having a moment.
okay,
They
but
having
this
a
game
moment.
look really fucking cool. Do you get a grapple? The grapple hook is look like it's going to be its gimmick, but you also get different exosuits and shit like that. So I may try it out when it first comes out just to see how it plays and uh, whatever. The next game they announced was, Alan Wake, and it's getting a lot of DLC. Alan Wake 2, I'm sorry, and it's getting Night Springs DLC. I haven't played the first one, or I played the first one actually. I'm sorry, I haven't played Alan Wake 2 yet. So the fact that it's getting DLC already means that this game is actually doing a lot of numbers. A lot of people was hype about this. Um, the next game they showed was Skate, like we already talked about earlier. They showed like a 4-minute trailer of nothing, and then they announced that there's a alpha coming. And then Valorant, Among Us, so Dune Awakening, they announced for the MMO for that as well. I'm kind of going to speed run through a lot of these. Sorry, y'all. So Dune Awakening, they announced that this is going to take place if Paul Atreides never was born. So it's going to take place in the alternate universe. I think it's going to be cool. We still didn't really see any kind
Is
of
that the main
gameplay from
character?
it.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, he's like the Luke
that's Timothy
Skywalker of
Chalamet.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly. Yeah, he's like the Luke Skywalker of the Dune universe. Um, next is Kingdom Come Deliverance, or don't take offense to this, Justin, as I like to call it, white people's Black Panther. That
oh
uh,
shit.
this game actually looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna get it on release, but it looks very fleshed out. It looks way better than the first game. The first game looks better now. When it first got released, it was released during updates and stuff like that because it was an indie release, I believe. But this game looks like it has all the money behind it and everything like that. It looks really fucking cool. I do recommend checking this game out if you really want to get into the first person RPG, realistic, medieval type shit. I don't even think there's any magic in this game. This is like realistic medieval if I was in that time period
This is
type shit.
Oblivion, not Oblivion.
Yeah, this is like they actually take place in that
Wait a
time
minute, he
period.
was
There
smacking her with the legs up.
just be aware, there are no black people in this game, so don't be upset because this is actually in medieval Europe. This isn't a made up land. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense that there are no black people in this time period. You may have come across like one or two that had a turban on their head. But yeah, so the next game that I do want to talk about is called Slitherhead. This game looks fucking dope. So it looks
This is
like
the what's the name? Yeah, this is a no for me.
this is a no for you.
Yeah, it's a no for me. It didn't look
What you
that good, and it looks like another Dark Souls thing. It was like okay, so when they were showing off combat, it was just waiting to block, waiting to counter, attack.
mean?
It was like
No, I didn't see that. Are
I'm
you
straight.
saw the you
I'm
saw the
looking at it
claw
right now.
gameplay?
Yeah, and the bitch is waiting to block. They attack and she responds. Like I see the like, bro, and the clip before that was the same thing. Like I'm not playing that shit. That's Dark Souls. I'm not playing that.
All right, maybe it is a Souls like game. Every fucking action game is Souls like, but I don't know. I'm gonna give it a try. It looks really fucking
Bro,
cool.
she is
It's,
walking. Look at minute 10. Go to 102, right? 101, right? And
all right.
when the girl starts walking up, blocking, and the dude was like, "Bitch, grab."
Oh my god. That doesn't mean it's gonna be a Souls like.
Okay,
It just be an action game.
go to 112. The clip starts off with the bitch blocking.
She just blocking. All me is Souls like you blocking. You got the Royal Guard and fucking DMC.
All right, look at the clip right after that. She starts off that next clip blocking.
Oh my god! So every clip of you blocking is just is
I'm,
the. I mean,
it's just saying
it's not.
the game is just being patient, waiting for the person to attack so you can counter and react like it's Dark Souls. And the clip after that, the dude, with the motorcycle, him, he's blocking my. Hold on, go to 130.
I'm watching the game, man. I don't think this is Dark Souls, bro. I
Here's my
I
projectile.
just I recommend watching the gameplay. It doesn't look. It looks like a PS4 game or a PS5 game, like an early PS5 game, but I still think it looks really cool.
That
And it's
mechanic
something
with them
different.
switching in between the what's name looks dope and everything.
Yeah,
I like the use of having like the blood for your weapon and all that stuff. Like all the concept is dope, but
yeah.
I
I
don't
think
think
that,
it's my type of game.
yeah, I think it's a really dope game. It does look really rough. But not a sucker for graphics. I'm a sucker for gameplay, and the gameplay looks really fucking dope. So,
And then like
um,
I think about this with most of the games that looks like crap. I'm like I'm watching this on YouTube in a bad bit rate. Like it's not doing this game justice, especially games with particles and a lot of effects happening. So I'm pretty sure that game actually probably does look good. But it's just the presentation in these videos is just making it look trash.
yeah. So, um, So I'm probably gonna speed run through one more game. We had Delta Hawk Ops. Recommend looking at that. I mean, it's a multiplayer shooting military shooter game. You know, you can play. Cool. Everybody has one. The next game I think is really cool is Killer Bean. I've been waiting for this game for
Hmm.
the longest. I followed the creator on Twitter, and I've been waiting for this shit for the fucking longest, bro. Um, they don't have the trailer on the website, but look up the trailer. It's like the best shit. It's a roguelike game, and it's fucking crazy, bro. He literally does the fucking between the leg. He catches a grenade, puts it between his legs in the air, and then throws it back at at the group of enemies. It's fucking fun as fuck. It's like Max Payne, Dead to Rights type combat as
It's
well. You can slow
PS2
down, shoot.
gameplay, and like if you play a classic PS2 shooter, a
Yeah,
classic PS2 action shooter, you know exactly what the fuck we talking about.
yeah, that's exactly what it reminds me of. It looks really fucking fun. Um, the next game is one of like a cozy game. I do want to mention cozy games, but I don't want to leave them out. I think they have a place in
I love
society.
Annapurna games.
Yeah, and the next one's called Wonder Stop. Um, you have to make tea and stuff like that, and I think the action or not the action, the art style is really fucking dope. I recommend checking this game out. It is coming out later this year for Steam and PS5. But it is called Wander Stop. So the next game is a new world Eternium. Is that how you pronounce that? Adium?
Uh, Damn, Eternium? That may be Eternium.
Yeah, Eternium. So this is a MMO that Amazon released, and I'm not gonna lie, the trailer they showed looked like they improved the combat. I remember when the game first came out, it did not look the best. So if you guys are into that, check that out. Power World got another announcement.
Eternal. Eternal.
Unturnum, okay. Um, Power World got another announcement. They're adding more pals and a new island. So if you're into Power World, which I know a lot of you are, which I need to get into as well, check that out. They got a new raid, new island, new level cap, and everything like that. Then Monster Hunter Wilds got shown again, and they said that they crossplay finally. Jesus Christ, thank you. It's coming to Monster Hunter, guys. So it doesn't matter because the game's going to be released simultaneously on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 5. So you can buy this on any console and play it. Thank goodness.
This trailer
Um,
got me sold, especially with the
oh yeah,
cinematic
tons of
pieces
news came
happening.
out.
And in the
Yeah,
trailer, like I'm like I didn't know this game was about. If that's new, like hey, y'all got me.
yeah. So tons of stuff news came out about this game. I recommend if you are a Monster Hunter fan, uh, go look at it. Go look it up.
Let them know what they need to know.
Right now.
Yeah, let them know what they need to
Oh,
know.
so yeah, it is open world. It's a seamless open world. So your town and the world surrounding it you don't have to go through loading screens anymore. So like in the Monster Hunter world, for instance, you had a hub. You know, gather your equipment. You know, do all your prep work there, and then you pick from like a menu or whatever. And then you would like go to the edge of town and then wait for your teammates, and then you guys would load into the map and the locale where the monsters at, and the locale was huge. Now once you got to the locale, there weren't any loading screens on the locale. Now all that is seamless. It's gonna be one big ass fucking locale. I believe there may be a loading screen for like different locales, but there's gonna be a town in there, um, and you can just like you know hunt in that locale where you're in, and then go right back to town. And I believe there are also little mini towns in there as well. So it's good. So the thing about
I'm
Monster
thinking
Hunter,
it's gonna be like the Spider-Man map. How it's just a map. That's
yeah,
it.
it's just one big map.
Hmm.
Um, So the thing about Monster Hunter that always like got me or whatever was the if you took the quest, if you read the quest, they were always from like smaller villages that we never knew about. It was just like, oh, this village over here is saying this is attacking them. So it's like now we're gonna actually see like a connected world, and I think the world is gonna be a little bit more fleshed out and a little bit more real and everything like that. Also you can ride. I mean, obviously you can ride mounts, but you can take two weapons now, and you can swap while you're on the mount, which is fucking dope. So I think that's going to add a layer of strategy to when you're going on hunts. If you find out that you can't fight this monster with a melee, weapon, you can switch your bow or one of your bow guns, and then use those. Like, and you can use the bow guns and the bow, I believe, from the mounts now, which is really fucking cool. You couldn't do that before, but now you can do that now. Yeah, like I said, which is really fucking cool.
Dude, this got me thinking. Like, what if it's like a destiny map, like when you go to Earth or Jupiter or whatever, and you know how it's all those different segments you have to load between it. What if it's just all of that connected together and you see everyone in one instance at one time, besides you happen to hop between all these different instances? It's just
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering. I don't know if it's going to be instance based. I'm just wondering how they're going to do it, because sometimes there may be. I think this is what's going to happen. Right, there's going to be sessions, and like they did in Monster Hunter Worlds, where you can have 20 people to like one town hub or whatever. Um, but you can probably like drop into other people's like worlds and stuff like that, if that makes any sense.
hmm.
Um, but
So
they're
how
probably going to be like 20 people to like one locale or whatever, and then you can probably see other people hunting in
So
that
that's how NBA
locale.
2K does it, right? And so their map, right, when you first load in, it's like a city that you load into, then you go into like the separate buildings or like the separate parks. But like um if me and you are playing, like you can load into my city, right? And if I leave to like another part of the city, like there's trigger points in the map that will keep me in that same world. But I just if I hit that trigger point, I load into a new instance technically. You
Hmm.
don't notice the transition, but like it would despawn you from my world, and I spawned around with whoever else is around this new world that I walked into. But if you was to be in my squad, right, and then I was to go across the map, whether I use fast travel, whatever, me and you would still be a part of the same world. And then like every
Mm.
instance, we will also be a part of the same instance. So like whatever instance that I spawn into, if I'm going from like one park to like another park or whatever, like we would share those same instances. But when I go into a building, it won't allow me to go into like buildings and things of that nature, because it's going to say, "Hey, you need your teammate. You can't do this alone because y'all literally loading it to another level."
Yeah, so I that actually sound was pretty accurate to what's probably going to be happening here, because um I can only imagine getting grief by other players when I'm trying to like hunt a monster, and then like other players just come and try to hunt the monster and
Mhm.
kill it or whatever. So they're probably
They
going to be
they're gonna
like,
do them destiny time limits, and it's like, "Hey, something's going on right here. This battle is going on right here for like 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes to
yeah,
kill
um, yeah. So I'm wondering like if I it's probably going to be like Destiny as well, to where like if I go into a certain cave or something like that, or a certain area, and that's my active quest, and you're in my party, we're seamlessly going to go into there, but everyone else is going to disappear. If that makes any sense,
them."
that's probably what it's going to do or whatever. I can see that happening, to be honest with you, because that's also what Destiny does too. Like if you're on certain parts of the map, and you're doing like actual
When you're
content.
doing story based content,
Yeah,
it separates you from the game world.
exactly. But you may still be in that same game world if that makes any sense. So I think that's probably what they're probably gonna do, and I think that's cool. Next game I really do want everybody to try, man. Don't This is a new IP. It is called uh Kinitsu Gami, Path of the Goddess. It's gonna be an action game mixed with like a tower defense game. It looks really cool to me, and it is a new IP, and I think people should try it out. It is from Capcom. They're trying something new, and
This
we're
had
always
tower
complaining about.
defense in it. I do not remember this tower defense part.
Yeah, it's a tower defense. So the day cycle, you gather your villagers and who you save, and then the night cycle, you use those same villagers as because the gate opens and then the demons come out and you gotta fight and you gotta set up everything in the daytime and then you fight them at night.
Okay,
So it is a tower defense.
that's fire.
Um, and you can also give commands to the villagers as well. So I think it's pretty cool. And it's something new, and like people are always complaining about stuff new. Uh, Speaking of which, I do. Even though the Summer Game Fest was kind of whack, I do highly recommend checking out the indies they showed. I didn't talk about all the indies here, but check out the indies. There are some really dope indies coming out this year that were announced at the Summer Games Fest, even at the after show as well. Please check out the indies. Support the indie people that are doing. They are making the games that we actually want to play. They're just taking a long time because it's like one or two developers, and I am
They
willing
are
to
going to
wait.
change the game industry.
Yes,
They are making the actual industry realize like, oh, we don't have to have these 200 people teams. We can have like Naughty Dog and split them into 10 different teams to make all different
exactly.
projects. Like
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, these developers just like one or two people, three or four people, and they're making these cool games that we want, that we like. Please look up some of these games. I followed them, a couple of them on Twitter already before they were even announced here, and I'm glad to see some of their games were announced even at the after show.
that is like the
Um,
best thing to see, like the indies that you've been following and like you've seen them get the stage to talk about their game.
yeah. The next game they showed was Phantom Blade, and so Phantom Blade Zero. I so okay. I thought this was going to be a Souls like game, and it's not
Hmm.
at all. Actually,
This
the
is Devil
creators
May Cry,
actually,
baby.
yeah, the creators actually came out and said this is not a Souls like game. It's going to be akin to like I would say more Ninja Gaiden,
Did you
and
watch
like
that IGN live thing of this?
yes,
And they
that
was
and
going through the
so
tutorial. Like when they first showed the tutorial, like I saw someone post on Twitter. I'm sorry, I saw someone post on Twitter. This is not a Devil May Cry style combat. This is Dark Souls. I was like, bro, if you watch the video, when the first combo screen came up, there was delay inputs and different inputs from heavy to quick attack. Dark Souls and a lot of games don't play like that. That's Devil May
yeah,
Cry
they don't,
inputs.
they don't.
Like
So I
I thought this is going to be Dark Souls. Like this game sold the fuck out of me. Like
Yeah, I thought this was a fake news game. I thought this was a fake game, yo. I ain't gonna lie. Like I thought this was a fake game. It's never gonna come out, whatever. But this game is real. Check out the like you said with IGN. They have like an 8 minute gameplay of like not even scripted. It's just like pure gameplay.
and then you have the developer talking to him about the game, and as the dude
Yep,
who's interviewing him saying certain things, he's correcting him. It's like, nah, this is this type of game. This is where we trying to aim for. Like he wants people to know that this is not like that slow pace. Dark. It's like they trying to imitate classic martial arts movies when they go on with the back and forth. It's like yeah, yeah, he's a real one. He's a real one.
facts.
I like action games, so like I like when the action game people, players and developers take pride of their game being action games and the games we like being action games because there's nothing else like it. And then like and now recently they are getting a lot of comparisons to the Dark Souls games, and so like they really trying to let you know this ain't no Dark Souls shit.
Yeah,
And who
I
knows,
definitely
this
agree.
may start like a new genre action games that are starting to get people to be more creative with the style of action games they make because like this may have influence from Devil May Cry combo wise, but like it's doing lot of things that Devil May Cry doesn't do. Uh,
Yeah, and that's why that's why I think there are places for games like Stellar Blade that is like a more Souls like, but it crosses that line as well to like the character action game.
Mhm.
And if that you can see developers slowly just like they're
It's a lot
slowly
of
going back.
action games coming out, bro. A
Yeah,
lot, bro.
and they're slowly just going back to character action games. And if that's what it takes to get the general public back to character action games, I am all for it. I am all for this slow evolution. Back to character action games. I love Souls games, but I am tired of them, y'all. I'm sorry, we got like 20 billion of them, and some of them aren't even fucking fun. Um, the most fun I had is Bloodborne and Sekiro. Like to me, those are the pinnacle of Dark Souls games. I mean, Elden Ring is really fun. It's like the pinnacle of the Souls, like the actual like traditional Souls. Elden Ring is like the pinnacle of that. You can't get any better than Elden Ring. But like the parry action, the parry Souls type game. I think Sekiro is the pinnacle of that. And like in Bloodborne, it was like trying to do a really. It was trying to play with some stuff there. It was trying to be more aggressive, and I think that was the pinnacle of that as well. Um, even though I don't like Bloodborne, but I'm not gonna take away. I'm not gonna take this hate away from it. So next thing we're gonna move on to we already like an hour into it, but next thing we're gonna try to kind of speed run some. So
I would say looking at this Xbox list, um, the only one. Okay. Damn.
man, it's a lot of games in here, bro.
It is because I'm like, damn, it's not a lot that I don't want to talk about, but like, I don't really care about Stalker 2. I never played that game. Age of Mythology, don't really care about that.
So
Don't
I
really
played
care about.
Stalker 2.
Okay.
I care about that game, motherfucker.
No flight simulator for me.
No
Um,
Flight Simulator.
it's a fun game.
So
Like, try it out.
So yeah, so let's get some of the games out that we don't care about. They announced Flight Simulator 2024. World of Warcraft is coming to Xbox later on this year, I believe. Diablo announced a new expansion. Age of Mythology Retold, which I believe is a remake. It's an actual remake of Age of Mythology. I did like Age of Mythology, so I think if you want to check that out, you can. Fallout is getting a new expansion, a new island or
It's
locale.
actually, yeah, it's an actual expansion. So I just been
Yeah.
following Fallout 76 for their
Mhm.
online, but it's like Destiny dropping like a new planet that you can go on to with like new missions and all this other stuff that you can do. Like it's basically a free expansion.
Okay. Um, I do recommend checking that out because you can also play as a ghoul, or when that expansion comes out, you're gonna be able to play as a ghoul, and they're gonna have their own perks and stuff like that. Which is, I think this is the first time in Fallout history that we can actually play as another race.
Hmm.
Uh, um, technically ghouls are humans, but whatever. Um,
Care
Elder
about the
Scrolls
Elden Ring?
Online,
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah,
yeah,
cross that out.
Elder Scrolls Online announced another expansion, Gold Road. Sea of Thieves announced an expansion that I believe is actually, I think they're coming to PlayStation, right? I think that's what that announcement
Yeah.
was.
No, I
Yeah,
think they
they're coming to PlayStation.
I don't know. Did they announce they coming to PlayStation on this one? I
I'm
can't
gonna
remember.
check real quick. Um, what else we have?
Life is Strange, like it's that one I can see that.
Is that a new game or is that like a remake or something like that?
It's a new one. So what it is that it's a sequel. So this is kind of big because the people who made Life is Strange don't not when they was working on it, they end up like departing and creating this new studio that started the last Life is Strange game, and they made a sequel to that. And so the fans thought that they was gonna keep going with that, and this is their first time touching on the original story. And so you're playing with Max or Rachel, whoever the fuck that you was playing with that last game, and like you're basically she haven't used her powers in X amount of time, and now she's seeing the person that you killed on the last game that you chose to kill to save the town. And like you having these two timelines that you could jump between with her. It's Life is Strange shit. If you like Life is Strange, this is the game that you want to play.
Bet. So Sea of Thieves, just correct myself, it is coming out with a new update on the 25th. It is already on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So that's what that announced. There's another thing called mixtape. I don't know
I'm
what that
down for that.
is.
I am down with that fucking game. Okay, Montreal. I like cozy games. I like these.
Oh, this is a cozy game.
Yeah,
Okay, keep going. You can go.
it's a story game, like like the Walking Dead type stuff. It's all right. This is the new type of cozy game that I like. And so you remember how Walking Dead was, right? That walking simulator. You make the choices.
Yeah.
These games are more or less just a movie that you are playing through. And you just going along with the story, and you making choices, but sometimes the choices really doesn't matter. It's just like real life choices that you make. You're making
Hmm.
choices just to get through to the end of the movie, right? And I like with these games, they are getting a bit weird with them, right? And like this is the first one I saw, like where it feels like it's not being grounded, since it's like being in a movie where like fantastical shit is happening. You telling it from like our fun perspective. It's not really happening, but like, hey, you can play with the character floating in the air and me shooting fireworks out the sky, shit like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's
No,
just
it looks
it's a
really
movie.
cool.
It's a movie. So if you like movies, I really say if you like movies and you just want a cozy game where you can just sit down and just experience something, this is the type of game that you want to play. And games
Yeah,
like
for
this.
sure.
The last
Yeah,
game
for
that I
sure.
played like this was called Goodbye by Kinda High, and I ate that shit up. Uh, but yeah, that's all that game is. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it for a fact. And these games usually be like 20, $30.
Yeah, it looks really dope. That actually it gives me like Stranger Thing vibes, and that new movie that just fucking came out on Netflix or Hulu, with the guy that was from, uh, fuck, Pikachu, detective,
Detective Pikachu.
the main character, the mixed boy, the mixed dude.
Um, fuck, what movie he was in? Because I
It
just
was a
watched
movie
that American
that
Negro Society with him.
yeah,
Um,
it was a movie that just came out. He just did. It kind of gave me those same vibes as well. Wish I can remember the name of the fucking movie. Um,
I saw the TV glow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. With the
Yeah.
TV glow and everything like that. Um, but yeah, it gives me those vibes.
Oh, that's an A24 movie. Oh, let me get that.
Yeah. um, so some of the other games that they announced, Frag Punk, which looks actually really dope. It's a hero shooter, but it looks like it's a hero shooter with another spin. I do recommend like checking that out.
Frag Punk. Is that the one that has the roguelike cards to it?
I believe so. No, this one. Yes, yes, yes. It
Okay, yeah,
is.
that looks dope. If that's free to
Yeah,
play, I would try that.
yeah. They don't say if it's free to play, but you do have cards and everything. You have 10 heroes, 14 weapons, and 4 maps. It is a hero shooter, but it looks like it's a hero shooter with a spin. I think it looks dope.
I
Um,
actually heard from reviews that this game is actually fun
yeah.
because they
So,
said the cards and stuff that you get, like it's like they have point values in them to you. You have to collect the points in the game, right? You get
mhm.
them from killing people or just finding them on the ground. And then every game starts off with like a selection of cards that you can play from, and like there's like different tiers of the cards, right? And then to activate them, you have to have enough points to activate those cards, and they would do things like change random things about the game, like how that showed like they had big hit mode. It was like, oh, big hit is not just for fun, like you can actually, it's easier to snipe people. um
Yeah, it did look pretty fun. It looked like it was just having fun with that whole thing, which I think we need more of. And to be honest with you, so
like if this is
uh,
free to play, I would definitely try this out.
yeah. So now I guess we can get into like some of the other games. So like the first announcements they did was Call of Duty.
I care about this,
Black
Montreal. I
Yeah,
really care about
Call of
this.
Duty Black Ops 6. So a lot of news came out about this after this game. But this game looks fucking dope. There is some bad news though, guys. So one, we don't know if there's going to be SMB SBMM.
I think
Um,
it is. As
because
always.
the reason I say it might not be because
The
X
prestige.
Defiant X Defiant doesn't have SBMM, and a lot of people are loving that game, so they may do away with it. Also, the old Prestige system is fucking back now. Um, Only bad
That
news
makes
is
me
you're,
think
you're
it's not going to do that skill-based matchmaking, because if you have that old prestige system, like
mhm.
what are you basing the skill off of? The elo system?
Man, just random niggas. I just want. I just put
Like,
random
yeah,
people in there, bro. Like I don't mind that. That's how the
me as
old
well.
school, the
Because if
old
it's a good
school.
person in there and I'm dropping them off, like,
Yeah,
I'm
just leave the
feeling good
lobby.
about myself,
I'm just gonna leave the lobby and then go to another lobby.
right?
Like, um, that's what I liked. But yeah, also, uh, unfortunately, your cosmetics will not transfer from Modern Warfare 2 and 3 over to this game. So this will be new cosmetics.
Which the Call of
Um,
Duty fans should get used to because usually the Call of Duty
mhm.
cycle, ever since they started Warzone, is supported for like about two, maybe three games, and then it stopped. And then like because the last time the cycle stopped is when Black Ops when Cold War came out. When Cold War came out, the last games before that wasn't transferred over, and then it started new from there.
Okay.
And so now this gonna be the same thing. Like uh, and that's smart at the point because you have three games worth of guns. That's like hella balances and shit that you have to do. Just start the fuck back
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
But
I,
I'm excited for this game specifically. It's a
mhm.
campaign. I was bored of Call of Duty campaigns recently, and I only played Black Ops campaigns. Um, but I like how they say they do an open world. Hopefully, it's like Halo Infinite and they
Mhm.
going back to classic zombies. So like I can't wait to get back because I mainly play zombies, so I can't wait to get back into that. Just in a room, just fucking defending between multiple ways and just trying to survive and solve the puzzles that they got presented in
So
front of you.
what's funny is I did play all the Black Ops except for Black Ops 4, I believe, that didn't have a campaign at all. Um, I got the
I had one
games
of the
on
best
sale.
battle royales I played in a while. That's probably one of the best battle royales I played.
That's what I heard too. Um, I got all the Call of Duties like on sale. Like I never bought them on release. I always got them like when they're like $15 or something like that. Because like the last Call of Duty came out, or the most current Call of Duty already came out. I like playing Call of Duty for the campaigns. Black Ops did have the best campaign, although I did like Modern Warfare campaign. Modern Warfare 2's campaign was complete ass. And I didn't play 3. I think 3 is already out, right? Modern Warfare 3 is out.
Yeah, it's out. I heard that
Yeah.
campaign was trash as well.
Uh, it. You know what? I'm sorry. 1 and 2's campaigns were good. 3 campaign was complete ass. I did not like it at all. Yeah, it was. I don't know. Um, yeah. So hopefully this campaign is good. I did hear though they're doing
It's in the
some. They're
90s.
they're doing some weird stuff, or not weird stuff. So you remember back in the day when Xbox One was first announced, and they were like, "This is supposed to be happening with fuck, I had the name. What's that one game? Crackdown 3, where they're like all these graphics and stuff like that are going to be done through the cloud. This game is actually doing that. So a lot of your texture loading is going to be done through the cloud, through your online connection. So you are going to have that constant connection to the internet to play both versions
Even
on
single player, like
yeah.
it's
Uh so I thought that was pretty interesting that this game is finally doing what Xbox promised to do like 10 years ago. Or whatever, and they're
that's what what's
finally
the name
implementing.
does. That's what Hellblade does as well.
Oh really? I didn't
They
know
have
that.
virtual texture streaming. Um, and so like most of the games, like especially the newest ones that you're gonna see here in the future, they incorporate all that technology. And so like mo- in a couple of years, probably in the next maybe year or two, I think the majority of games are going to be just online only, even if they single player. Because if you use something like virtual texture streaming to stream the textures, you're going to need a connection to your internet. So, and that's just basically if you think about it, the game's trying to be high detail, right? Because you're saving on space on the disk and on the file itself, so you don't have to load these 4K, 8K textures because those some fucking huge ass file sizes. But
Yeah.
if you could stream those textures and also like the geometry as well, right? I don't have to have these high ass poly models being loaded all the time, but if they being streamed in, um, and AI is taking care of most of the stuff. Like you're gonna need an internet connection for that, and a hard piece, and a strong piece of hardware, which your console will come from.
Okay.
So I think that's going to be a thing in the future. That's just me predicting. But like you said, it's good to see Call of Duty doing that because if they're doing it, that lets me know that more games are going to do it because like Call of Duty is a staple in the game industry, whether people want to like it or not.
Yeah, so I agree. Can you read the chat real quick?
Yeah,
But yeah, so can you just go a little bit more
yeah, yeah,
detail,
yeah,
like
yeah.
with the Call of Duty?
Yeah, so if y'all play like I said, I played mainly for zombies. Oh yeah, I forgot. So they are updating the movement, and so it's gonna be more omnidirectional. So basically, and this goes with like the technology that I was talking about. What I know for a fact they are using like something in Unreal. They call it motion matching. Um, and what's this game called? Last of Us. They use it as well, and I know that they are using it for this game because it makes the locomotion a lot easier. Basically, what it is that it's just the AI just predicting what animation should play, right? And so they have a list of animations for the locomotion, like your basic walk stands, right? Like your idle and like the transitions from your idle, from like idle to start, idle to stop, right? I mean, idle starting to walk, idle starting to run, right? Running,
Yeah,
stopping, running, walking, stopping, and all the directions that you can run. And so um that's all that that omnidirectional shit is, right? It's just the new locomotion technology that people are using. Unreal has a car motion action. Um, Last of Us 2 is using it. So if you watch the Last of Us 2 documentary, they would show you what it is. Then if you just watch any tutorial about Unreal 5 motion matching, you will know exactly what they are doing with that shit. And I'm also testing it out as well. That shit is easy to set up. It's hard to master because there's a lot of settings you have to go to really tweak it how you want. But like you can get that shit set up so well. Like it literally makes locomotion like the easiest. Saves so much time of setting up a locomotion system from any character. And
okay.
so seeing them add that and knowing like how it's being incorporated in the game industry, like that makes sense. The virtual texture streaming, that makes sense. So I'm pretty sure they are using a lot of stuff that's starting to become standard in modern game development that's helping with developing the games because as much as y'all was saying like how it just costs a lot to make games and that goes to like the people that you have, right, the head count, right, shit like this is improving game development because all the time that I would spend making a locomotion system, I don't. The only thing I need basically is animations. You just can get crazy with the animations and you just create all these different states, right? A locomotion for walking, a locomotion for running, a locomotion for standing still, a locomotion for crouching, a locomotion for sliding. You can plug all that shit in, and the AI is just going to pick what's the best thing to do. Besides you telling it what to do, and that's another thing because you have to program all those different states, and the AI is just like, okay, this is supposed to do this. You have the code for how fast your character should be going and all these different states of your character. Okay,
Yeah,
these should be playing during these states. All right, well, we're just going to predict what's going to happen based on how you're moving, and we're just going to play that shit, which is pretty dope. And so I think
nice.
from what you were saying and how you was talking about movement in games and how these people's trying to be sweaty and say, "Hey, this is how all this movie's going to get." I think this is really catering to that movement-based audience, and it's going to give them really something to have fun with, and it won't be like. I'm pretty sure they're going to find something to break in the game type shit, but I think it's gonna bring a new form of like how people play Call of Duty, a modern form of Call of Duty playing. I'm
Okay.
interested in it. I like and also like because like this is also a test to see how it's gonna work because who else in video like Battlefield may take and I'm pretty sure they already incorporate shit like this, but like with Call of Duty releasing, anyone else who's building first person shooters or third person shooters can take note of this and incorporate it into their game and make it possibly better.
Okay. Sounds nice. They're doing a lot on this Call of Duty. So the next game they did show was Indiana Jones. I
It's
I
a
am
good
gonna
one.
get this. I'm gonna get this game. It looks really good. Uh, it's a single player game, first person still. But I think it looks really cool. Check that out if you guys want to. The next game they showed was, I believe,
It
what's
does look
another?
good, man, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
I probably just have to watch like an actual like gameplay demonstration because that trailer didn't really sell it for me.
Oh, they actually have gameplay of it already
Okay.
when they first revealed it, so it's out there. All you gotta do is like search Indiana Jones Great Circle gameplay. Um, so the next game they showed, which I was like, Gears of War. But there's E Day, and they showed my dude Dom.
He's back.
Like
He's back.
he's he's back, man. Marcus and Dom is back. This is E Day. This is their emergence day. Like the
They say
first
this is
day.
before the chainsaws and the lancers.
Yeah, so this is like the first day um that we fought the locusts. So I don't know if you
Emergent
guys
day.
remember Gears yeah, Emergence Day. So I don't know if you guys remember in Gears of War 1, but they always talked about Emergence Day, but we never played it. If you played Gears of War 1, you're already in the thick of shit. It was a couple years into the war against the locusts and everything like that. But now, like this is like the first day they emerged. We don't even know who these are. We don't even know who these aliens are or anything like that. I think this is gonna be really cool to find or to play. Is actually going back to the roots. I'm in a different camp. I did like the uh Gears of War 4 and 5. Uh Even the teams they had, the crew, really good. The story was really good. It just wasn't the original crew, you know.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's going to be one of those things where you can never replace the original crew. So
I think Gears of
uh,
War is that type of series. Like it's one of the ones that should have stopped at 3.
yeah,
It should have
exactly.
stopped at
It
3.
is. It still stopped at 3. Um, but the next game they showed was Doom. So a lot of people are into Doom. I am. I have to actually play. I have to play Doom Eternal. I haven't played Doom Eternal yet,
I
but I
still
love
haven't
Doom.
played the 2016.
Man, I love
I own it.
2016.
I own it on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. I got it in
Talk
every one
about
of
a
them. I got
fast
it for
paced
free.
fucking first person shooter. Like that's not the standard shit. Like that game is really good, and I'm Dark Ages is going even crazier.
I
I
love the
recommend you
sword
guys.
with the shield, and I'm like how
Yeah,
to have like the Dynasty Warrior style hit effects with that bitch. Yeah, I fucks with it.
and, and then they got this gun. They got this new gun where it crushes the skull and shoot the skull bits at the demons, and it's
Fucking
fucking
dope.
stupid. It's so fucking dope.
I'm gonna
Uh,
play Doom before this come out, like leading up to it type shit.
yeah, so I recommend y'all look at that trailer. The next one they showed was Avowed. So they did show Avowed again. The reason I'm gonna talk about it is because if you saw Avowed when it first came out was announced, if you were like me, you were not impressed, and you're like, this is what the fuck Obsidian has been working on. When they showed this game now, it looks way better, way more polished. Uh, um, the action looks really cool. Um, if you play Pillars of Eternity, then you will definitely be right where you need to be at home in this game. This game looks really dope, and I believe like I think we were talking about either off or online. About has a third person mode as well, so it's
Hmm.
not going to be first person mode.
They announced it on the Xbox Wired on June 9th.
Oh, sweet! So it's coming out this year.
Oh
Dope.
no, I'm talking about the third person mode.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I don't know. No, so it is coming
It
out
said
this
Avowed
year.
will be
They
released
they
this
they
year. Yeah.
announced they announced it in so this is what happened, right? This is very weird, right? The one of the developers tweeted out that it's coming out in November sometime. I forget the specific date, but they posted the date, and it was the same day that they had the Xbox podcast showing off the game. So I think it was coincided with each other. But then they didn't announce the date on the podcast, and so she took down the tweet and reposted it without the date. But Warrior 64 captured it, and so there's evidence of the date. It's supposed to be like November 26th or 22nd. It's in the November 20s, but it's coming out in November for a fact. That's if they
Okay.
don't push it back. But like yeah,
I think it's gonna be a lot of competition, so they might push it up or push it back. I don't know.
it's a lot
They've
of
been working
people
on this
coming
game
out
for a
this year.
while. So the next game they showed after that was we already mentioned it was Diablo, then Flight Simulator, then Warcraft, and then they showed Dragon Age. They didn't show any gameplay here, but today or yesterday actually, um, BioWare showed 20 minutes of gameplay, which looked very good. It actually gave me Arkham Asylum because they showed the road class, y'all. So it reminded me of Batman Arkham Combat, but a little bit better and more polished.
I
Um,
may play something else besides a mage, but at the same time, the mage class may look so dope. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm
so
getting tired of
uh,
playing as a mage, but I can't
I
help it.
always play as a rogue, so this game looks really dope. I recommend y'all check it out. They
Montrell,
don't show that
Montrell,
you
hey,
can.
you can't skip over this, man. They said
What
this
they
is going
show?
to be like Mass Effect. Like when it comes to
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
party members and all this stuff, like this is like the ultimate. It's basically Mass Effect, but in the Dragon Age universe. It's as they's talking about. They say your
And
people
it's
can
gonna
die
be
and it's permadeath. Like,
and it's
like
gonna be mission based, according to them. So there aren't gonna be any huge open worlds, which was, in my opinion, a big falter. At least in my opinion, for Dragon Age Inquisition. I love the worlds that we were in, but goddamn, them bitches was big as fuck for no
now,
reason.
with them saying it being mission based, I'm starting to think, especially with all these Mass Effect 2 comparisons coming out from it, I think it's going to be like some Mass Effect type open world, like where you have like
Yeah,
open
that's what I
hub
think.
worlds that you go through, but like you just traveling, but like it's like two or three main zones that you really go to. That's like the real
Hmm.
hubs, but you
Yep.
travel and pick the different worlds that you go to, and that's just going to be like a level inside of that region or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's gonna be a bigger level, like Mass Effect 2 levels were, because obviously that game was made like almost fucking 15 years ago now. Jesus fucking
And
Christ,
I
Lord.
and I'm
Um,
fine with that, right? Like it doesn't have to be open world because if you do it like that, at least you developing things and making things that has a vision, that has a look that feels like right. It doesn't just feel like just shit being placed, you know.
yeah, so that was the problem in my opinion with Inquisition. Like Inquisition has missions inside of the levels, and then I would just fast travel when I discover stuff, and I would just fast travel to that stuff. So it almost felt mission based inside the open zones that you do get, because the zones are fucking huge, and they did have their own quests inside of them. Um, it was essentially open world, quote unquote, but it wasn't open world. So you had zones that you go to, and then you had missions inside those zones. But it wasn't all one interconnected world. You'll see when you play. It's different zones, huge zones you go to, and I think they're probably going to do that, but on a little smaller scale and a more targeted scale. At least that's the thing I got from it. The game looks fucking phenomenal, by the way, y'all. Like it looks fucking good.
Mhm.
Um, I
And
recommend watching it.
the praise for the character creator that's been saying. Like specifically, there have been people saying like there are like we heard the cry out about black hairstyles. There are a shit ton of them, not just black, but everyone. Like they said, the character creator is one of the best ones that people has been saying oppression wise. People coming out for saying it. And it doesn't have that same problem of Dragon Age and my Inquisition and Montrell called this out earlier. It was like the character creator is ugly, your characters are ugly and shit like that. The reason why your characters are ugly is because they had a fucked up lighting in the character creator. So by the time you got on and actually look at your character in real lighting, you like your character is fucking ugly. And here they fixed that problem. So they got multiple different lights that you can view in your character creator. You can actually rotate and move the lights and change the brightness and all that shit. So you can actually get a good representation of your character before you leave the creator.
Yeah,
I'm excited
so
for this game, man. I'm fucking excited
yeah,
for Dragon Age.
I'm fucking excited. A lot of people are upset about this game. Particularly PC Gamer magazine. They're fucking
Fuck them
upset about this
nerds.
game. They really want this game to be a CRPG. They're
Fuck them
comparing it to
nerds.
Baldur's Gate 3 already. I like Baldur's Gate 3, y'all. I think it's a phenomenal game, but can we please hop off his dick? Like,
Montreal.
please
Fuck
hop
them
off.
nerds.
Like, we just need to hop off that game's dick, yo. Like, and like I love Dragon Age Origins as
They
well.
literally did some once in a lifetime shit that like they made a game that no one else can make, right? Like you can't repeat that shit because that took so much time. Like it's
That game was in
it's
development for almost 13 years, I
it's
think.
an
That game was in
impossible
development for
game to make. Like
yeah, man.
you're not getting one of those. That's a once in a decade type game. Just
Yeah,
appreciate that
like
shit and move the fuck on. Do not compare no games to it because no other game would be like that.
it was in development for 6 years and then 3 years in early access. So they were developing it for almost pretty much 9 years, I believe. Um,
And we're not
yeah,
even talking about like that. That probably don't even include like pre-production when you were just planning out what the game may be. That's probably actually
yeah,
all development time right there. The because I know we already know 3 years of early access is development time, so that's 9 years of development time, and probably like another year of planning. So 10 years to develop the game.
yeah. So I remember when that game was first announced years ago, and everything like that. So uh,
It was on the
not to
Google
take
Stadia
anything.
thing,
Yeah.
the Google Stadia conference press conference.
So not to take anything away from um Baldur's Gate 3, because it's a phenomenal game. I don't think it's fair to compare Dragon Age to that game. Well, Montrell, they actually made Baldur's Gate 2 or whatever. And it was like, all right, yeah, they did make Baldur's Gate 2, and it was a phenomenal game as well. BioWare did make a Baldur's Gate game. Phenomenal game. But uh the CRPG has been left the stratosphere for BioWare. Um, and on top of that, y'all, I really want y'all to get the CRPG thing out y'all head because I want to say, don't quote me on this. Actually, you can't quote me on this. I don't fucking care. Um, I believe Dragon Age Origins was the only game that was like a legit CRPG game from BioWare. Even Baldur's Gate they made was an action RPG game. Um, it was not a CRPG game
I think
at
you're right
all.
about that. I believe you're right
Um,
about that.
um, BioWare has always made action RPG games. Like like this is not. I'm not.
They have CRPG elements, but
Yes,
they
they
are
have.
action games.
Yes, they are action games. Through and through.
Shatterstar Baldur's Gate is the only one. I remember MDK. That was my shit on the Dreamcast. Baldur's Gate 2, Neverwinter Nights. What? I never knew they made that. Then you have Star Wars, J
Yeah.
Empire,
Okay.
Mass
So
Effect.
I take it back. I take it back. Baldur's Gate 3 is a CRPG, or Baldur's Gate 2 is a CRPG. So they only made two CRPG games, which is Baldur's Gate 2 and then Dragon Age Origins, which is
What
like,
about Baldur's Gate 1? They made Baldur's Gate 1.
did they make Baldur's Gate 1?
Yup, I'm looking at it right here. Baldur's Gate 1. And I believe this is single RPG. It's single multiplayer. I don't know if this is CRPG. More than likely it is. It just says role playing game.
Yeah,
Fantasy
most
role
likely
playing.
it was a yeah, they're CRPG games. So I apologize. They made three CRPG games. But then they also made Mass Effect. They made J Empire. They made fucking
Wait, they made four CRPG games. Neverwinter Nights is a CRPG.
they made Neverwinter Nights too?
Yes, they
Okay.
did.
Well, they do good shit, you know? And like we saw what their trend
But
was.
even looking at this, Macho, right? So looking at their games, Neverwinter Nights was their last
That's
CRPG, right? Because after that, you have Star Wars, J Empire, Mass Effect, right? And all of those games is just like action games, different types of action games with CRPG elements, right? Same thing
yes.
with Sonic, the Brotherhood, right? And then you have Mass Effect Galaxy, and then you finally have Dragon Age Origins, their last CRPG game. Then you have Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age 2, and Dragon Age 2 is what you said. They was trying to mix that combat and CRPG stuff. Like it's from there you can see they was trying to get away from it.
Yeah, yeah. You can definitely see they were trying to get away from it. You can definitely see like they really
But they
wanted to
still
make
keep
a
it in their games, right? They keep
yeah.
certain elements in their game.
So I definitely understand, but y'all like
They
you know
haven't made one since 2008. Move the fuck on.
yeah, and it's almost like Final Fantasy fans and them clinging on to a turn based thing. Like I think it's about time we let that shit go. Like there are places that are making turn based shit. There are places that are making CRPG shit and really dope CRPG games. But these
Go
companies
seek that
clearly want
shit
to,
out. Stop trying to get what you're not going to get because they're not going to make it. There's other people making it, but you don't want to go play that shit
and
because
we
it's not the IP.
already,
No,
even though it's not a CRPG, I consider it D&D. I don't know if you could count D&D as CRPG, but it's D&D combat. We already have a great game, which is fucking
Baldur's
Baldur's
Gate
Gate
3.
3. Um, so the next game they showed after that was Assassin's Creed Shadows. So they didn't show gameplay at the showcase, but they did show in the Ubisoft one, and I'm
I didn't
torn
see it.
between it.
I didn't see it. How
Yeah,
does it look?
I
Because
recommend
I'm
you go
thinking
watch it.
about it.
I recommend you go watch it. It does look like they learn. You know what it reminds me of? The combat kind of reminds me of a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima, For Honor. I don't know if you guys played that game, but For Honor, and then traditional Assassin's Creed. It does look better, but I have a feeling that it is going to follow the standard Ubisoft shit on the map, everything on the map. You can't switch between Yusuke and I forgot the female ninja's name. I forgot y'all's. You can't switch between her on the fly, not while in certain combat
It's a
situations.
good looking
Um,
Yusuke. I'm looking at like him
but
talk to someone. Like this is a good face
yeah,
model.
it is a really good looking game. But I do recommend you guys go watch that gameplay just to get your opinions on it. I think it's still going to be a solid 7 out of 10. Like I said before, I think it's going to be a solid 7 out of 10 game. This one looks like it's going back to the roots of Assassin's Creed. They actually tried put effort into this one, but we'll see. Then for me, Stalker 2 is coming out. Finally, we got a release date for Stalker 2. Um, I can't wait for it to come out. Uh, I gotta look for it here. Yeah, so it's coming out this year, actually, I believe. Um, let me search it up. The release date here. Uh, oh, we don't have a real release date, but it is coming out in the fall of this year. Um, this game has been worked on. The studio was damn near destroyed in Ukraine. One of the lead developers got killed actually because he was actually fighting in the war. This game has been in development forever. I started playing this game maybe 5 years ago, or not 5 years ago, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. During the pandemic, Stalker One came out, and I was just looking for something to play, or Stalker One been out rather. But I played like the community, the modding community for this game is so deep. It has a huge cult following. Man, this game, if you're looking for like an open world, like post-apocalyptic but like realistic take on it with like some horror elements into it as well. Like Stalker is that game. It's based off the book, and um Stalker is that game to play. And then
So
Stalker
is this
2,
post apocalyptic open world shooter? That's it.
yes.
Oh,
But
didn't know
it's
that.
but it's a lot more to it. It's a survival horror game as well. So you have to watch out.
Okay, I was
You
about
have
to
to
say I thought it
also
was some creepy shit, some scary type
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's some creepy shit. And on top of that, you have factions that you got the AI is fucking like neck bro. This game came out like years ago. Stalker came out years ago before like you can have like the AI will talk to you and have factions and stuff like that. And you can trade with them, you can betray them, you can do anything you want to in the game world. It's like that open world type shit.
Mhm.
And like I said, this game came out years ago. And I recommend people like it's hard for me to recommend people playing the old one because I had to mod the game so heavily to play it the way I wanted to play it. But it is so fun. Um, and it's a like I said, it's a creepy ass game. You not only are you fighting monsters, you're fighting humans and factions and trading between those factions and stuff like that. Really fucking dope game. Um, uh, I do recommend just even just like just if you're curious about it, uh I recommend it, but I can't wait for this game, man. I've been waiting for a long time. I thought it wasn't going to come out, especially when the Ukraine war came out. Their studio got hit and everything like that. Um, but I think that one of the Xbox studios picked it up, or somebody's studio picked it up, and actually was working with the developers and finished the game. So I'm glad these developers actually get to make their game and everything like that because they've been fighting for a while. The next game that they showed here was Fable. So I like the trailer. Uh, the the game looks really good. It's actually coming out next year. Actually, we don't have a specific date, but it's coming out 2025. It does look like traditional Fable. It looks like it's keeping the trend of traditional Fable. So a lot of people don't know you never had a character creator in Fable. I don't know if there's like the Mandela effect with Fable fans. Everybody's like, "Could why can't I create my character?" I'm like, "Well, you're
It was
never
all
able to
about
create
like
your
the
character.
choice you made about being a hero and not a hero, and then
Yeah,
like
but
the
you never had
choices
a
you
character
make.
creator.
Yeah, like nah. Like the only thing I remember. Wait, I believe three just allow you to pick between male or female, if
That's
I
it.
recall.
That's it though. That's it. You
And
can't create the
outside of
character
that,
though.
like yeah, you just change your clothes and your weapons.
Yep.
But it's
The
like Fable is all about like
Fable One, you
that
were forced
journey,
to
the
play as
hero
a
journey.
boy. Yeah, Fable 1, you're forced to play as a boy. I think Fable 2, you can play as a boy or girl, and then Fable 3, you can obviously choose between boy or girl. The combat looks, the little combat they did show looks okay. I want to see a little bit more before I get hyped for the game. A lot of people are already sold though on the game. I need to see a little bit more before I'm sold. To be honest with you, because this is Xbox's like
This is being
premier.
made by Playground Studios, motherfuckers who did Forza Horizon series. Like they are making this. Woo. Like
In
it's
collaboration with Eidos Montreal, by the way.
yeah, it's not like woof in a bad way, but like just looking at the small bits of gameplay they showed in the trailer, like the character walking and all that stuff. It's like, man, this is looking good, but like I really need what Montreal said, like an actual combat game loop thing. Just showing me like how
Well,
you
like I
can
said,
handle like
I'm not worried about it because I mean they're in collaboration with Montreal with Eidos Montreal, who made Guardians of the Galaxy, and that combat was fire. They made fucking Deus Ex, and that combat's fire. So I have no doubt that the combat's going to be fire. I just need to see it before I get hyped for
yeah.
it.
It's like
Um,
basically for me, I would say like the stuff they show like in the trailer, like with her using her magic to throw up and like that cinematic, that finisher cinematic I heard when she threw the bow. If most of that
mhm.
shit had UI on it, I think I would have been sold. Like,
Yeah,
you just show like health bars and shit, like, oh yeah, you got me. But
yeah. Probably they probably got like an option to do the hide the UI.
oh
So speaking of fucking Deus Ex, Justin, if you listening to this, man, go watch the Perfect Dark trailer. It's
yes,
Deus Ex.
fucking Deus
It
Ex.
is Deus
That
Ex,
shit looks so
bro.
good. Hold on, let me pull that
That
shit
shit
up
looks
because
so.
that shit is so good.
That
That
shit
shit is
looks
so
so
fucking
dope.
good. I
That
swear.
shit looks so dope. I
I
have
thought
never
he
seen.
would have. Why he didn't watch it yet? What?
I don't
Why?
think you watched it, man.
Man, go watch
Dog,
the fucking
this
Perfect
game
Dark trailer.
looks so. Watch the Perfect Dark trailer. I was blown away. And you know what's funny? This game is actually in development hell right now. But I,
But like it goes to the point when they was talking about it's in development hell and all the stories and shit was coming out. But at the same time, like people was saying, like it could be in development hell until a certain point, then everything clicked. And I want to
yeah.
know if those stories that's coming about it was about before Eidos Montreal start working with them. And then because
Mhm.
it seems like this game has a vision and it seems like some shit Eidos Montreal would do. It's like, hey, y'all a new game developer. Like this is how we did it. We work with Crystal D and all this stuff on some games, and like I think this should be some Deus Ex type shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and what a fucking vision they had because this is actually the route to go. Um, I
You get the
met
good vision, you get the talent of the initiative plus Eidos Montreal, and you get something good.
yeah, the gunplay looked dope. The
The
gadgets you
traversal.
using, the traversal looked fucking dope. This is Deus Ex, like through and
If you
through.
look
This
on
is Deus
Xbox
Ex.
Wire, they was talking about like the big thing they didn't show but they want people to know is that like the traversal is the main way that you get around. You are in like little zones areas. It's kind of like Hitman when you just got to take down a mission, right? It's like,
Hmm.
hey, this is a mission. You can execute it how you want to, right? And so you can put it's just like a Deus Ex, how you can play, how you want. It's a, man, it's just a lot. It's a lot. It's an immersive sim. It's an immersive sim. That's the only thing that I can say. If you ever played an immersive sim, you know what I'm talking about. And if you ever played Deus Ex style immersive sim, you would know exactly what type of game this is. Just think about this as a modern Deus Ex. Like it's what I thought Cyberpunk was. Fuck. It's what I thought
Yeah,
Cyberpunk was combat wise.
combat wise, yeah. You know what? Even though I do think Cyberpunk hits that Deus Ex thing. I am more excited for Cyberpunk 2 if they ever make one. I think they have the vision now for what they want to do with that game, and it's going to be really dope. I hope to God that what
Fuck,
we
this game
saw,
looks good, man.
yeah, I hope to God what we saw is the actual game, and I hope to God this game comes out. Like Xbox cannot let this fall through. Like they have to push this game through.
Like to be
Um,
honest, this can't be no. I don't know how far along this game is, but they can't drop this shit next fall. With all the games coming out, this has to drop in the spring or the summer. Like
Yeah, this game has to drop on its own, and it has to drop complete. It has to drop. Uh, it has to drop, man. What they shown was like kind of mind blowing. To be honest with you, it looks really fucking good.
I didn't even think the game was in this state, man. Like just see it in this state just gets me hyped. Like fuck, like this is. I thought this is gonna be trash. I thought we wasn't gonna see nothing for like 2 to 3 years. Like I'm
Yeah,
surprised. Like
no, yeah, same.
Justin,
I'm,
if
I'm,
if you watch this fucking shit, Justin, please just watch it.
yeah, just
Watch it.
watch it, Justin. It's really good. I'm not even doing it justice. Like, to be honest with you, like the way we're describing it right now, we're not doing it justice. Dude, like even like the when she disarmed the people and everything like that shit looked fucking dope as fuck. Like I was just like, damn, like
When she was
I
taking
don't,
someone down, like she took someone down with her pistol, about to shoot him. Then two people was about to get ready to come up, and you can see, like I see the button clicks in my head when she said boom shot. Like, oh, dude, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for
yeah,
this. I'm
it's really
sorry.
dope. This is probably besides some other games, this is probably the hypest one. I mean, I was hyped for the next game I'm going to talk about as well, which is Expedition 33. I was super hyped for this game. I didn't even know what to expect from it until they start showing the gameplay for it. But Perfect Dark like blew me away. I was already sold, but then Expedition 33, it's a turn-based RPG, JRP. It's a JRPG made by Western developers who
Mm,
were influenced by Golden Sun, Breath of Fire. You name it, they're influenced by it. And man, not only
Montreal,
does
this
the
is why I
UI
don't
looks
call these
good,
games Western RPGs, right? And I just call them traditional RPGs because that's all it is. Even
this is
even
if this was made by Square Enix, bro, this would be a JRPG. So I'm calling it a fucking JRPG. Like this is a JRPG, man. This shit looks dog. Y'all thought the menu shit and the UI stuff for Persona was good. Like this shit is kind of rivaling that shit, man.
mhm.
And it has some action game elements to it. Um, I don't know, man. Like the
You
art
know what
style
it
looks really
reminds me
cool.
of when it does this like dope ass combat action sequence? That PS3 game called Renaissance of Fate. Like
Yeah, that's a
that's
good
what it reminds
comparison.
me of.
Yeah, that's a really good comparison actually. Yeah, I recommend y'all highly recommend y'all check out Expedition 33. The
I don't fuck
trailer.
with turn-based RPGs, and this shit got my attention.
Yeah, so I fuck with our turn-based RPGs, and this shit got my attention. Um, the next game they showed was
South of
South of
Midnight.
Midnight, South of
Yeah,
Midnight,
this the
and
one. This is the
this
one.
game looks fucking dope, y'all. Like this game is it looks like it's doing like a claymation style um uh game, but it's action. It's an action game. It looks like an old school. You know what it reminds me of? Like
Oh, my
uh
trail. I'm sorry, but I just looked searched up the trailer on YouTube. They showed this off last year. They
yeah,
showed
they
this
did, but they
off
didn't show
last year.
gameplay. They
Yeah.
didn't show gameplay. Yeah. And this game reminds me of like Kingdoms of Amalur, the combat does. I don't know if y'all remember that old EA game that came out. It was
Oh
called
yeah.
Kingdoms of
They
Amalur.
did a they re-released that.
Yeah, yeah, it reminds me of that game. The combat does. People were saying Souls adjacent. This looks nothing like
What?
Souls. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I am super hyped for this game.
see, this I swear, them motherfuckers don't know action games.
They don't, man. This
So
game,
Jason,
this is an adventure game. Third
this is a
person
adventure action game, an action adventure
adventure
game, a
action
classic
adventure
action
game.
adventure game.
I recommend you guys, even though like the cinematics are like using the frame skip that they do in uh Spider-Man movies, the Spider-Man in the into the universe or into the Spider-Verse is using that frame skip technology,
You
but
know
when you're
what it
actually
feels
playing the
like?
game, it's actually like it's actually 60 frames when you're playing the game or whatever.
It feels
Um
like Montreal that the game and even like the cinematics and stuff is at 60 frames, but the character is being animated like at 30
Yes,
frames or maybe
yes.
like
It
20 frames
reminds
and
me of
stuff.
claymation, bro. Doesn't it
Yeah.
remind you like a claymation type
Because the
situation?
animation is good and like the jerks are not bad. It's just like it's just off. Like you can tell it's off frame rate, but it's just it looks good. Like
It
fuck,
reminds me of a Nightmare Before Christmas, like,
yes,
but like really, really fluid. I can't
fucking
describe it to you.
fantastic, Mr. Fox.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, man. Like, I recommend you guys look at this game. It looks really fucking dope. Uh, from
the
cinematics,
character moves smooth and everything. It doesn't move or look bad. It's just like you see the artistic vision.
yeah, man, it looks really fucking dope. I don't know why this got like a huge dislike, and then like
Because
it
she's
got,
black, you know why?
yeah, that's true. Um,
And it's Xbox.
yeah, and you know what this game reminds me of as well, like Kina Bridge of Spirits. Like I
Mhm.
get that vibe from it.
I
So
could see that.
yeah, so
Because
I
yeah,
recommend.
that was a Pixar game.
Yep, that was a Pixar game exactly. This is a really dope game. A dope looking game. The story looks dope. It looks like it takes place in like a version of
New
um
Orleans.
New Orleans, the Louisiana, where my family's from. So if you like that like type of mythology and stuff like that,
You should send this to your parent. Who's from there? Your mom or your dad?
my grandma and stuff like that. My
You should
grandma, my uncle was born. My mom was actually born in Detroit, and then my uncle he was born in Louisiana.
send this to them. Like because I know that your grandma and them, they have to know some fucking like Louisiana, Cajun, whatever the fuck type lore. And I bet you this is like telling like some story that she may know. Like, I don't know. I just feels
Yeah,
like this feels like some shit like my grandma would know if I showed her. Like if she was still alive, I'd be like, hey, like does something like this look familiar? Is a story that we need to know about that's being lost through time? Like I
yeah,
don't know.
it looks really dope. I recommend everybody check it out. I don't care what color you are, just check out the game. It looks fucking dope. I think everybody be able to enjoy it. The next game they showed was oh, we did forget about Starfield. They showed Shattered Space, which is DLC from it.
Oh
It
yeah.
actually looks pretty dope. I might jump back into Starfield for this. The next game they showed was after that was State of Decay 3. The gameplay looked really fucking dope. I like State of Decay 1 and 2.
I
So
played two.
I'm
I
really
didn't
hyped for
play
it.
one, but I'm
I
excited
played
for it.
one. Uh, I played one. I played one extensively actually, and I played two for a little bit, and I got to finish two. But yeah, three looks really fucking dope. Uh, but yeah, State of Decay it looks really fucking dope, y'all. Like y'all gotta watch it.
What I'm excited
Um,
about for this game is that like State of Decay has, especially since they was indie first, like they got a fan
yeah,
base, they got their game, and now their third game, especially with back in time and them being able, because I heard that the coalition was helping them with some Unreal 5 shit. Like I think this is going to be like the best State of Decay, like the whatever that game loop is. This is going to be the best version of that so far.
yeah.
Hopefully they make
Um,
some changes and shit, like some Hill Divers type shit. Like that's what I'm really looking for. Like what Arrowhead did with Hill Divers, I hope they do that with State of Decay. Not on that scale, but just like this is not the game that I thought that I was going to get.
well, what's funny? I think State of Decay 1 already did that. When State of Decay 1 came out, a lot of people didn't expect to be what it was expecting to be. And it grabbed that cult following. It wasn't as big as Helldivers, but I remember when State of Decay came out, people were like, "Oh, okay, wow, this is a really dope game." So I think it already hit that echelon, and now I think State of Decay 3 is going to revitalize that fan base and everything like that as well. And the
And
next game they
also, wait,
showed,
one more thing about this game. Can we talk about how they did the trailers and one how Xbox did a lot of their trailers, but State of Decay is a perfect example of that in Night of Midnight. How they showed you the story trailer to pitch you to get into the game, but when they
and then
showed
they
like
seamlessly go into gameplay.
the specific combat moments that people want to see, it wasn't like cut up or anything. It was just like, hey, this is the part in the trailer where besides this, let's just show you just them shooting. Let's just switch to combat. You should show them shooting. Like
Yeah,
yes, I can see what the combat is without you having to release a game based trailer. Like I understand it.
yeah, I definitely agree. They did a good job with that. So the next game they showed, I was super hyped for. It doesn't look like a Souls like game, which is Wu Chang. It's just like a Devil May Cry. Ninja Gaiden type game. Um,
Ooh, Ninja
game
Gaiden. That's
looks
a good one. I didn't think about that.
um, it's called Wu Chang Falling Feathers. Uh, not too much information on this game, but they did show gameplay of it, and man, this game looks fucking
But
dope.
remember, this was one of those fake games that IGN showed 2 years ago.
Oh, they already showed this game?
Yes, and there's combat of it like 2 years ago, like 18 minutes of combat. This is one of those fake games.
Oh shit! Well, it's here
And,
now.
I'm
Like,
looking at it now, Montreal, you know what it is? This is fucking Neo.
yeah,
This
that's
is
a good
Neo.
comparison. That's a good comparison. This is Neo. Um, it reminds me
Ninja
of a cross
Gaiden
between
Neo.
Ninja Gaiden Neo. So yeah, Justin, I recommend you check this game out as well, man. It's made from 505 Games. That studio sounds fucking familiar, actually.
Oh, they used to be on PlayStation. Planet Side 2. Is that the company 505 Games?
Oh shit! It is. Wait, 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 wait,
Hold
wait, wait,
on, I'm
wait.
looking it
They
up.
did
I
Ghost
think
Runner. They did Ghost Runner.
this is them.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Oh
wow,
wait,
what you
wait,
look?
wait. They're the publisher of them. They're the publisher of them.
Okay, okay,
They have a whole bunch of games under them. Um,
yeah. Oh yeah, they got
a
a
whole
shit
bunch
ton.
of games. But they publish like Control, Ghost Runner, uh, Aiden Chronicles, um, Dead by Daylight.
Damn.
So yeah, this is a
Yeah, they got a lot
publisher.
of shit. Yeah, that does. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a publisher.
it,
Publisher.
yeah.
I was about
So
to say, damn, they moving
uh,
these indie games. Shit.
unfortunately, I don't know the studio behind this at all. Though I'm trying to look for the studio, the actual studio
Let's
behind it.
see if I can find who developed this game. Developer is I'm not gonna say that. Chengdu Lingzhang Technology.
Okay, so it is a Chinese company. So it's like, hey man, shouts out to all these Chinese developers, bro. Like y'all coming up, y'all giving like Japan a run for their money for real, and the West.
Mhm.
Y'all making all these great games, man. That
It's the
we,
same thing like how Indians are doing with film. Like
mm-hmm.
some of their shit is looking better than what's going on over here. Like
Because you know why some of this shit they just don't give a fuck, bro. They just gonna make what they want to make.
and like now
Uh,
their visual effects is on par with our visual effects. We've been teasing with all their bullshit they've been doing, but they've been making some creative shit with that bullshit visual effects, and now all that all that creative stuff they've been doing has good visual effects, and that shit is starting to look very fucking good.
yep.
And it's the same thing with these games. Like, hey man,
And the simple fact that Unreal is like super accessible to people, I think is one of the biggest, like, in my opinion, it's like the next evolution or industrial age of gaming.
mhm.
In my opinion, um, that Unreal is so accessible to everybody.
Unreal
Um,
definitely, whether they know it or not, and not specifically because of Fortnite, but like with the Unreal Engine and them making it free and accessible, they change indie games for the better. Because
yes,
and especially how you was talking about, you don't like a lot of 2D and sprites in games. Like this made 3D games very accessible. And people are starting by making like simplistic style art styles, but now with Unreal 5, like you're gonna have indie developers making these triple A looking games, and they may not be as long and as like super duper polished, but like give it a couple years, give it a couple years, and you ain't gonna want these triple A games no more. You're gonna be specifically buying indie and double A because you're gonna be making the best games.
exactly. Just how they were back in like the PS2 era and shit.
Hmm.
Um, So I think we are entering a new golden age. We just got to get through this little rough patch, unfortunately, for all the developers that got laid off and stuff. But I think out of that rubble, a lot of these developers are going to bounce back and just make their own games and stuff like that. And we can see it now. I think we're actually seeing it with the. I think this Xbox showcase kind of proved that.
The dominoes are falling.
Yeah. Then they showed Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which is the remake. Looks really fucking dope. I don't have too much to say about it, but
I
I'm a
never
huge
played
Metal
the
Gear fan.
PS3, so I will be
Yeah,
buying this to play this.
yeah, I'm gonna be buying it too. It looks like they added a lot of stuff. I think the remake looks great. People are saying stupid shit like, "I hope they don't make it political." Metal Gear has always been
Game is
political, so
fucking
suck a dick.
political. The
Yeah, I
fuck?
was gonna say the game's always been political. Yes, there is a bisexual fucking colonel in the game. He was in the original game, so please don't DEI the fuck out of think pieces and shit like that, y'all. Like
I like
he
how
was
they
already
started the
there.
trailer, Montrell, by saying like, "Hey, this is Solid Snake, but let's just call him Snake." Like, that's what we always do. It doesn't matter what Snake we playing with. It's Snake. Oh man, I'm excited for this though. I'm excited for this, and all of the policies, like, cause like I don't know nothing about it. As much as people talk about this game, especially in the early days, people really never like deep dive on the game, like the game, the early gaming channels and shit, right? It was just, oh, this is a good game and all this stuff. It's like, but why? Like playing Metal Gear 5, that's the first Metal Gear game outside of Revengeance that I played full through. And that's
Mm.
when I really found out Metal Gear is political. It's like, oh, okay, this is different. And then of course just doing my research about the Metal Gear series, like I never really understood what Metal Gear 3 was, besides this motherfucking in Vietnam. It's during the Vietnam
Yeah,
War.
so Metal Gear 3 is the actual
And it's
like
the first
start.
game, right? The
It's
first
supposed to be the
chronologically.
chronologically it's the first game. Yeah, so um his name is Snake. He's the
And they
original
should have
Snake.
named this Metal Gear Alpha. Because if
Yeah, I don't know why they
imagine if
did
they was
that.
going to rename the games, right? This could have been Alpha, Metal Gear Solid. What comes after one, or is it Metal Gear?
Uh it's the Metal Gear and the NES's. I mean, like
See,
chronologically,
yeah,
chronologically.
chronologically, right?
Yeah, so it's this game and then Metal Gear 2, Snake's Revenge, and then Metal Gear Solid, and then Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and 4. Oh no, I'm sorry. Actually, scratch that. It's Metal Gear. It's Metal Gear 3, Metal Gear Solid 3, which is this one, Snake Eater.
Mhm.
Then it's Metal Gear Peace Walker.
No,
Then it's Metal Gear
I thought Peace Walker's before 5.
Peace Walker is before 5. That's how I
Oh,
said. Metal Gear Snake Eater, then Metal Gear Peace Walker, then Metal Gear 5.
oh, okay, okay. So then,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So Metal Gear 3, if that's the first one, right? This should
Yeah,
have been
that's the
Alpha.
same.
This should be
This
Alpha.
is the,
Then they remake the first two NESs, and that's Bravo. Then you do Metal Gear Solid, right? Metal Gear Solid, Charlie, and just keep going from there. I don't know. I don't
yeah. So yeah, so this snake is the snake that's in he's in Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. He's in Metal Gear Peace Walker. He's in I'm not gonna spoil 5 for you. Well,
know.
you're right, you
Well, I
beat
already know
5.
5. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna spoil 5 for people who want to play it. He is in Metal Gear 5, but
Wait, this is not
yeah,
this. This is Metal Gear 4 as well, right?
no.
The same.
It's
Oh,
not Metal Gear Solid 4. So, and then what happens is in Metal Gear 1 and 2, you play as the snake from you play as Solid Snake. So this one is called Snake slash Big Boss or Naked Snake.
also, yeah,
Uh
this is Big Boss Snake. Oh, the other
yeah.
one is Solid Snake.
Yeah, the other one is Solid Snake. And he's sent on a mission to kill him, Big Boss.
Okay, okay. And don't he do that in Metal Gear 4, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, but it was the story was like kind of weird. Like you thought you killed him, but you actually killed like the body you thought you burned wasn't actually his body. It was a weird conundrum they switcheroo they did there. But yeah, so Solid Snake fights him in Metal Gear and then Metal Gear Snake's Revenge. And then he has his own story in Metal Gear Solid where he fights, and then obviously in Metal Gear 2 you play as Raiden, and then Metal Gear 3 is obviously this one, Snake Eater. And then Metal Gear 4 you play as Old Snake, which is Solid Snake. But he's aging rapidly because of Fox die. And then
Man,
Metal Gear Revengeance is after that.
this should be a fucking TV show or a movie series. Like, I don't understand why someone don't invest in making this shit. So, like, cause I would want to watch this. This is a series I would watch.
Yeah, so it's very political. It's very good. Uh, uh, Especially Metal Gear 2 is my favorite. The Codex calls in Metal Gear 2 are very eerie. That game was made in 2001. And if you play that game, especially when you get towards the end, there's a 12-minute Codex call that you have with the Colonel. And everything that he says in that game came true in real life. And this game was made in 2001. And I was just like, he talks about AI, he talks about algorithms, he talks about people getting into their own little bubbles on the internet. He's talking about all that shit in 2001, and it happened. It's happening today. Like, he talks about social media and shit in 2001, bro. The game's fucking crazy. But yeah, I do recommend everybody play. We don't go back and play Snake Eater. Snake Eater to me didn't age too well. It was the catalyst for Metal Gear 4 and 5, in my opinion. What they tried to do in Metal Gear 5 is what they wanted to do in Metal Gear 3, Snake Eater. But
Okay.
they just didn't have the technology, if that makes any sense. So Metal Gear 5 is the most advanced version of Metal Gear, in my opinion. The most fun version of Metal Gear. All the stuff you can do in that game. Uh that being said, I still do recommend going back and playing Metal Gear 1, 2, and uh uh maybe not Peace Walker. Peace Walker was okay.
Well, I
But
thought
yeah,
Peace Walker was one of the best ones.
no, Peace Walker was is kind of weird. It's a PSP game.
Oh,
Um,
love
yeah,
a
it's
PSP
okay.
though.
Yeah. They did remake it though for Xbox and stuff. So if you have Xbox, you played it. You can play all three games. Actually, you can play the collection, the Metal Gear collection, on backwards compatible. And I actually believe they also came out with with the collection for PlayStation as well. Now it was only locked on Xbox, but is now on PlayStation. So the next game they showed was Atom Fall. This looks like a first person like sci-fi horror game. I
It's
recommend
a
checking this game
survivor
out.
action game.
Survivor action game. Okay, I recommend checking this game out. It looks really dope. We're already 2 hours in, and I know DJ has a kid, so I'm trying to speed it up
That's
here.
fine. He's actually asleep right now.
Okay. Uh, and then last but not least, actually, I
No, no,
never.
no. You can't skip. You can't skip over Flintlock.
I was
Like,
gonna say last but
okay,
not least, it's Flintlock
uh,
because and they showed Winter. I don't think they showed too much gameplay for
I
Winter.
forgot what Winter Bar was. What game was that?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Let me see. I'm about to search it up.
What was
Winter
it called? Winter's Fall.
Winter Burrow. Oh, it's that one game that looks like Pentiment with the
Oh,
owl when he ate the bigger
yeah,
little mouse and shit.
yeah. If you guys like Pentiment, it is an indie title, by the way. It's a cozy woodland survival game. Um, and you're a mouse trying to restore their childhood home. It is a cozy game. I do recommend checking it out if you're looking for more cozy games, sometimes to just vibe out. Cozy games are really good for people with high stress like myself. So I do recommend those games highly. There is definitely a place for it. And this is an indie game. It looks really dope. Um, it has crafting and stuff like that. It does have a little bit of combat, but that's not the main emphasis of the game, if that makes any sense.
I don't
It
know
looks
much
like
about
a
this gameplay, but I just went ahead and sent the link to you for Flintlock.
mm,
I'm
yeah,
probably
no,
not gonna
I'm
watch
going to
it.
talk about Flintlock now. So Flintlock, bro, I saw the early gameplay for it and I hated it. And I saw this gameplay for it and I was like, oh my god, this shit looks so fucking. It looks like a cross between like old school God of War and new school God of War,
It's a
dog. Like I can't.
Souls-like game too. That's the problem. But like
It
this,
looks like
this
God of
looks
War
to
to me though.
do what Bloodborne they did to me with Souls. Like Bloodborne made me play a Souls-like game, right? Because of like
Yeah,
the pacing of it. This looks like it can do the same thing. Because if this is a Souls-like game, like it doesn't look like one. Like, but and I'm down to play it. Because man, the action, like this bitch got magic. She can double jump. Like is I don't know what this game is, but like I'm down for it. Like fuck it.
yeah. It reminds me of God of War. To be honest with you,
I can
that's what
see
it
that.
reminds me of. Um, but it it looks really fucking dope. It's coming out this year on
Next month.
July 18th. Yes, next month.
And it's gonna be on
So
Game Pass. I don't gotta buy it.
I'm buying the games to support the developers. Um,
It has like if it
yeah,
has a physical copy, I buy it. Like I don't like buying digital, but like if this game
yeah.
has a physical, I'm definitely copping it. And more than likely, it probably will have a physical on the PlayStation, but not Xbox because Xbox is trying to get away from physical. And so I probably have
And
to
uh,
cop it on
and
PlayStation.
unfortunately, it's another one of them games that got downvoted because the main character is black. So
That's crazy. And like the main character, me, I thought she was Indian.
Yeah, she looks. She's not white. There you go. She looks like she's maybe Indian or like Native American, maybe, or black. And yeah, I just looked at the showcase on YouTube, and the dislike ratio is almost half
That's
of the
crazy.
like. People are saying "Sweet Baby Ink" written all over it, which is that company, I guess, that people were saying tries to do DIE stuff or DEI stuff in games. Um, but yeah, I think it looks really good. But people are already hating on it.
Just wait
Um,
till a game is made where there's no white people inside of it. Imagine a fucking outrage. Not one white person inside of it. Oh, it's not historically accurate. You can't do this. There's just white people everywhere. You gotta include us. Like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, we can't have
yeah, I
one
think.
main character that's not white. We can't have
Well,
one
my
main
thing is
character
this,
that's not
right?
female.
Yeah, my thing is this, right? So we were told, okay, don't change existing characters to be black or
Right.
to be other colors, right? All right, cool. Um, don't use existing franchises like, say, for instance, Saints Row, right? Don't use existing franchises to have the main character be black. All right, cool. So we didn't. Now we're not doing that. We made entirely new IPs with new main characters, and the character just so happened to be a different color that's not white, and y'all still mad. Y'all still saying DEI
You're
and all this other
making
stuff
new
like that.
stepfathers? What's up with all the whites? Like, man, shut the fuck up, man.
Like it's annoying. Like I
We
don't
can't have
know.
nothing.
Like just say, I wish they would just come out and say we
Just
don't
be
want
racist.
black people. Yeah, just say it. At this point, just say it. Just say you don't want other. You just want white characters. Like this, and I would actually be okay with you just being honest with me about it
Hmm.
instead of trying to sugarcoat it. I think that's the thing that really gets me upset about it, is like not the fact that they don't want other characters of color, but they just being very like sneaky about it, or they're
And
trying
the
to be
problem
sneaky.
is, right, is that they don't understand that we agree with them. It's like, yeah, we don't want to just a fucking a skin swap. Like, oh, now Superman is black. We don't want that shit. Like, we don't
Exactly,
want that shit as much as y'all. Like, the fuck?
exactly. And that's exactly what I'd be trying to say. Like, we don't want that shit as well. But now that we got characters that there's own IP and everything of that nature, there's really no excuse to be mad at this game. Like, I don't understand why people are getting upset. You know what would have been funny? This old game that a lot of people love, but I feel like if it would have came out today, people would have been saying DEI or DEI or diversity inclusion or whatever. Prototype 2, people love Prototype 2.
Mm,
That has a black main character. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? A Shadow Man was a black. I think he was a black character in the N64 game. Um, what else? There were a ton of other games that have like black characters that people actually love. Um, I think Watch Dogs 2 is another game that slept on that people
Watch
love.
Dog, that's my fun. Me and Juan played the fuck out of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of, and that's the best Watch Dogs game.
Yeah,
And the game was
exactly.
a nerd too. That had some of the best like dialogue that I ever seen, like in a video game when it comes to like nerd shit. Like it's just, I felt that game.
Yeah,
Oh
so
man.
um I don't know, man. I feel like people are very political driven because of like the algorithm, but like they don't understand that games that came out back in the day featured characters of color that were
Mhm.
the main characters. People still love them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, whether it was different or whatever the case may be. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. But that is the Xbox showcase, y'all. Um, I do recommend going back and watching all these games, or just going back to the Xbox news site or Xbox Wire. You can type in Xbox Wire and go to their news site and see all the showcase and everything in list form. Also check out the summer. I thought the Summer Games Fest was kind of weak in my
Oh, it
opinion. Like
was
watching it live, the
terrible.
actual conference itself was bad, but the announcements are okay. And then there's some other announcements that happened over the weekend as well, that I think people should check out.
You know
But
what I was pissed off about, Montreal, about the Xbox presser?
What's
is
up?
that it was in front of a live audience and I couldn't hear the cheers because every time when something happened in my head, I was having the cheers playing like a classic E3 conference, but I didn't hear anything. I was like, I know everybody watching live is popping off of this shit as much as I am, but I can't hear it because like it's just a recording.
Yeah.
And then like
Uh,
you were saying during the Summer Gaze Fest when you have a lot of people that wasn't as excited, or you have like the reactions when it was like it's VR, and it's like, oh,
yeah, exactly. But
oh,
we did reach the end here. So, you have anything else you want to talk about?
oh no, that's it. It was fun talking about video games. Just got off of work, and now I'm about to get ready to go ahead and make some dinner for us.
Yep, mother made me try to get me something to eat too. So if you guys can, this is the end of the show. Uh, make sure to check us out on all the podcast apps of choice. I'm not going to mention them all. That's Justin's job. We're going to release it, like I said, at at 6 a.m. on Friday. And make sure you like and subscribe, either you're on YouTube or Spotify or any other podcast app. Like, subscribe, and write a review as well. We really love feedback. And you can send us questions at the players take at 01 at gmail.com. The players take uh, G 01 at gmail.com. You can reach me on Twitter at I trap for the Hokage. That's the number 4, not the word. Um, and you can reach DJ at what you're at.
Oh man, I forgot I changed it. I think it's mm, I can't even tell you. Maybe it's D Coochie Chocolalia. Maybe DJ Coochie Chocolalia. Like
And
y'all don't.
you
Look
can
like this.
find
You don't want
Justin
to
at
follow.
Thundernet01
Oh,
on
it's
Twitter
D
as
Coochie
well.
Chocolalia, right? Coochie Chocolalia, Kujichala. But you don't gotta follow me, man. I don't use that shit.
But yeah, and that's the show. All right, see you later, guys.